You're about to watch every episode of a series of 8 out of 10 Cats, which is, I mean, it's quite the undertaking. If you like it, I guess like and subscribe, and there's compilations below if you want to see random clips from different episodes. Enjoy.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, the king of chat, Richard Madeley, comedian and athlete Mel Gedroych, and their team captain, Sean Locke. Facing them tonight, Pop World Puppet Simon Amstel, from the sketch show, Lee Mack, and their team captain, Dave Spikey. Ladies and gentlemen, here's your host, Jimmy Carr.
Well, thanks very much. Welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 1 in 12 school children don't know who's on top of Nelson's column? The clue is in the name, Trevor Nelson. 32% of old people don't want to live. Tell you what, old people, you're in luck. 80% of women find men with cool cars attractive, which goes some way towards explaining why the last Pope got so much poontang. Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and we've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. We didn't ask about the biggest or the most important news stories, just the things people had actually been chatting about. And it's our panellists' jobs to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Sean.
Well, I imagine they've been talking about the announcement of the Live 8 gig, which is due to coincide with the G8 summit, isn't it, in July? You know, the G8 summit where the 8 most powerful nations all get together in a room and go, everything's going great, isn't it?
I don't know what the 9th most powerful country is, but I bet they're livid.
Yeah. And they're doing a big... Bob Geldof's doing a big gig to draw attention to this, and he's been in some trouble with encouraging school kids to take a day off school.
Is he encouraging them to take Mondays off by any chance?
He's called for 1 million people to march to Edinburgh. I mean, I think, you know, this is a country facing a massive obesity crisis. I mean, getting someone to march to their newsagents is impossible enough.
But most of the kids who bunk off go, yeah, I'm going to Edinburgh, and they won't. They're going out to the park and try and get a bottle of cider, you know. Put the hooded tops up and throw scaffold tubes at hearses. That's what they do.
Well, let's have a look and see if Live 8 is up on our list. Yes.
Oh,
You're absolutely right. 48% of people were talking about Live 8. It was a huge talking point this week. I don't know if you've seen the incredibly powerful commercial where a child dies every time famous people click their fingers. I couldn't help thinking, stop clicking your fingers. Last night I went to a restaurant. I killed 2 kids just getting the bill. It's been claimed this week that the Make Poverty History wristbands are made in China by children. Of course, they might not be children. They are a lot shorter over there.
My brother had the anti-racism wristbands, which is, you know, a black one and a white one. The black one fell off, so now he's a racist.
Dave, over to you. What do you think people have been talking about this week?
Big Brother is back. It's sort of indicative of the way the programme's going, that the second most important statistic they give you now when it comes on is the bust size. It's the breast size, isn't it? It's like Saskia, 34FF. But they don't do it for... They don't do it for the blokes, do they? They don't do Anthony, 3.5 inches, on the slack.
I haven't seen much of it because I've been quite busy this week counting my rice. But the bits I've seen, I mean, you were talking there about the amount of large-breasted ladies. I was watching under the sound down. It looked like Benny Hill made a rap video. It's fantastic.
Well, let's have a look and see if Big Brother is on our list of the most talked about things this week. It is. Big Brother was always... Let's face it, Big Brother was always going to be in our top 5. They've introduced infrared cameras in the house. We're excited about the prospect of some nocturnal activity. Bill Oddie hopes to see a badger. Sean, back over to you. What do you think the nation have been discussing this week?
Well, the bumblebee crisis.
What now?
What?
The bumblebee...
Shit! Don't panic! Don't panic! No one panic!
Calm down, it's...
What are you talking about? What bumblebee crisis?
You don't know.
No.
In the paper, when it says BB crisis, you know that's Big Brother, don't you?
Female bumblebees, which apparently are the zealous, hard-working sex, are turning into fat, lazy males. This is a crisis because although bumblebees don't make honey, they do a lot of bumbling. And bumbling levels have reached a record low, and it is a real problem.
So what you're saying is there's a lot of lady bees turning into lady boys.
Exactly.
So bumblebees, you're saying, don't make honey?
No.
Right, they
No.
just bumble around.
They just bumble, and neither do they sting.
What do they do? Little fat, lazy shits.
Am I dreaming, or is Richard Madeley talking about bees?
Because I can check if that's in the top 5.
I don't think it probably is.
Well, I think people have got to be talking about the shock horror news that Coldplay have been knocked off the #1 spot by...
Jack Shearer.
Crazy Frog.
That's more annoying than the Crazy Frog.
You don't have to pixelate her genitals. So...
Chris Martin has said he wants to catch him and eat his legs. But he's never going to do it. In the video, there's some guy in a rocket bike chasing him. He can't do it.
What, so you're saying the Crazy Frog?
It's got to be there. It's
Let's see if it's there.
Yeah.
Yes! Yes, the Crazy Frog was the most talked about thing this week. The creator of the Crazy Frog has said, and I quote, "I would never have it on my phone. If it came on the television, I would turn it off. Even before it went on the website, I began to hate myself." He added, "Bing, bada, bing, 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 bing." 2 more to get. Come on, Dave.
Is it anything to do with the fact that the postal service have had the prices of stamps frozen? I mean, I'm not being unsympathetic, but why should they raise the price of stamps? Because what do the actual postal service do, right? All they do is they collect a letter from a box, right? They stick it in a sorting office, then somebody else takes it to a train station, who takes it up north to Newcastle, and then another bloke picks that up from there, takes it to another sorting office, he'll then sort it out again, and then he'll give it to another man who gets on a bicycle and rides for 4 miles on his bike in the rain and delivers it to someone in the middle of nowhere, right? And they want 22p for that. It's a rip-off, isn't it?
Oh, what a... I was intrigued by this. I don't know if you saw this, that Tesco are now... you can get funerals at Tesco, which is fantastic, isn't it, really?
You can get funerals at Tesco?
Oh, shop till you drop, yeah.
What is it? Oh! That's not one of the 5 big talking points this week. I'll tell you what, we've got 2 more to get. Fingers on buzzers. Buzz in if you think you know what the people have been talking about this week.
Yeah, buzz.
Sean.
I think it has to be the rejection of the European Constitution by the French and the Dutch. Have said no, non and ni.
I mean, the great thing is that now we don't have a referendum, because has anybody any idea what you'd be voting for?
I've got no idea
You
at all.
Does anybody have any
it's
idea?
obvious. You're voting about whether Liverpool should be in Europe now.
Oh, that's fair.
Well, let's have a look and see if the European vote was up there. Yes, it was. Mel.
Rod Stewart is to be a dad again, age 60. Obviously, when his kid has their 21st birthday, Rod will be dead.
Going out with one of her friends?
Yes.
Yeah, Dad, you coming to my 21st? You bet your arse I am, yeah.
The best age to have kids, though, 60s and 70s, isn't it, really? Because you've got to get up 2 or 3 times a night anyway.
That's a lovely thought. No, that didn't make the list.
Japanese soldiers thought World War II was still going on. They emerged somewhere.
Oh, yes.
I can tell you that was the 8th most talked about thing this week. 2 Japanese servicemen have emerged from the jungle and are said to be shocked that the war is over. They were even more shocked when Ant and Dec said, "Let's have a look at some of your funniest moments." You've got one more thing to get. Richard.
It's actually Cole, isn't it?
Tell me the story.
He's committed the heinous crime of actually having a cup of tea with somebody from another club. For this, he's been fined £100,000.
It wasn't the first time it happened as well, because he was tapped up by Newcastle as well, apparently, just before.
Why does it matter? I mean...
Well, that would never work, because you can't sell coal to the Geordies. Hey. Thank you. Hey.
Let's have a look if it's there. It is.
Oh, you're nice.
Right, that's the end of the first round, and we've established that the British public talk more about animated ringtones than the European Constitution. Good on you. I can also tell you that Sean, Richard and Mel have 4 points, and Dave, Simon and Lee have 1 point. The next round is called The Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. Dave, your team first. I can't tell you the source because it will give it away. 7% of UK kids don't know what?
Shit.
The correct way to prepare crack.
That if they eat another chocolate biscuit, they'll turn into a chocolate biscuit.
It is about food.
What a carrot is.
Very close.
What a carrot isn't.
I think I'm going to have to give you this one. It's 7% of UK kids don't know how to eat an orange.
What?
Incredibly. 7% of UK kids don't know how to eat an orange. Cover it in breadcrumbs and deep fry it. They'll get the hang of it. To be fair, most kids get all the orangey goodness they need from Bacardi breezes. Sean's team. This is from a study by Leicester University from March this year. On average, policemen spend 2 minutes per day what?
Playing with their needle.
Arguing over who's going to be bad cop.
Spend 2 minutes per day tampering with evidence. You know, just for old time's sake.
Is it boiling a really soft egg?
No, the answer is, in fact, on average, policemen spend 2 minutes per day taking statements. Dave, Simon and Lee, this is from the Department of Health survey from last December. Southerners are 5 times more likely to what than Northerners?
Support Manchester United.
Celebrate Pimm's O'Clock.
Book a flight from Gatwick.
I'll give you a clue. It's to do with an emergency.
5 times more likely to not have an emergency.
It wasn't that much of a clue.
Call an ambulance.
You're absolutely right. It is dial 999.
Yeah.
My neighbour had a heart attack, right? Fell on his hamster, and the RSPCA got there before the ambulance.
Sean's team, you're next. This is according to a survey by the Ramblers Association from this March. 69% of people think that encountering what would spoil their enjoyment of a country walk?
Talking sheep. Especially a really dull one. If a sheep could talk, it'd be quite boring, wouldn't it? You know, it's just been standing here all day. Bloody boring. Stood over there yesterday. Great.
A badger the size of a horse.
That sounded really rude, the way you said it. Oh, she had a badger the size of a horse.
I keep forgetting Richard Madeley's there, and it's like a little surprise every 5 minutes.
What would spoil a country walk? Come on, just think about it logically.
A bull.
The road.
Electric pylon.
Yeah, you're along the right.
Motorway. Cars.
Well, you're absolutely right. I'll give you that. It's vehicles.
What?
Dave, your team. Next one's from the British Attitude Survey, December 2004. By the year 2015, half the world's population will what?
Have been evicted from the Big Brother house.
Will have had a go on Titmus.
I've read the Da Vinci Code.
Reading the Da Vinci Code is kind of along the same lines. They will be able to read the Da Vinci Code.
Speaking English.
You're absolutely right. Sean, yours is the next one, from a survey by Surrey University, featured in the Daily Mail in March. 17% of British women are kept awake each night by what?
17% of British men.
Richard Madeley.
Yeah, they're there tossing and turning.
Yeah. Is it ecstasy?
I think it's a gentle but insistent prodding in their lower backs.
Come on, it's quite an obvious one.
The children.
Is it snoring?
You are absolutely 100% right. 17% of British women are kept awake by their partner snoring. If your partner does snore, one way you can deal with it is to gently roll them over. Do it 3 times, they're out the bed, problem solved. So at the end of that round, it's 8 points for Sean's team and 2 points for Dave's team. Our next round is face-off, a head-to-head challenge between our two team captains. Sean and Dave have 6 well-known faces in front of them. Prince Harry, David Blunkett, Pope Benedict XVI, Wayne Rooney, Sherry Blair and Chewbacca the Wookiee. We asked the British public to rank these people in order on a series of questions. All Sean and Dave have to do is guess who came top. The first question is, who would you most like to have on your pub quiz team? Who got the most votes, Dave?
I think the Pope would be good, because he'd be in the toilets texting God, wouldn't he? Like, Plague of Frogs, any idea? Any idea? I'm thinking Exodus. Which it is, actually.
You're going to go with the Pope? Well, he is infallible. It's not a bad choice.
Well, only if you're a Catholic, you believe that. I'm not Catholic. I was. I was at confession, and I thought, hold on a minute, I'm in a little wooden box telling dirty stories to an Irishman who never had sex.
This is bollocks.
It shows you I have actually met the Pope. You know that little white thing on his head?
Yeah.
If you push that down and twist it, he's full of sweets.
OK, so who are you going to go for, Sean?
Well, I think I would go for Prince Harry, because I think he'd lull the opposition into a false sense of security. They think, Harry's here, they're bound to lose, he's an idiot. But then again, that would be a problem, because he is an idiot. Oh, I'll go for Harry anyway.
You're going for Harry? OK, well, I can tell you that Harry got 15% of the vote, so you win that, because Pope Benedict XVI only got 9% of the vote.
Oh, nice one.
It's surprising that the Pope came behind Chewbacca. It's very rare in a pub quiz, that, in my experience at least, that the answer is... It depends where you drink, doesn't it? OK, Sean, this is to you. Who would cope best in prison?
If the Pope was in prison, he wouldn't be the Pope anymore, would he? You know, I imagine they'd strip him of his Pope.
How would he have got in prison?
Yeah.
What could he have done?
Take the Pope-mobile down the pub. Drive back hammered with his head sticking out of that glass dome. With bubbles coming up. I went, Harry, I don't know if he's already got experience of Her Majesty's pleasure. Hope not. Any ideas over there?
Well, aren't we?
I think the answer might be Wayne Rooney, Richard.
Yeah, he'd cope really well, because he wouldn't understand he was in prison for years.
Well, I think Chewbacca's obviously... He'd be fine in prison. He doesn't really want for very much, does he?
OK, Dave, who do you think? Who would cope best in prison?
Prince Harry, just looking at that, the way the pose there, he'd do very well in prison.
So who are you going to go with?
Team?
I don't know what that is going in Sherry Blair's mouth, but I'm sure it belongs to Chewbacca.
I'll go Rooney.
Well, Wayne Rooney got 23% of the vote, but Chewbacca the Wookiee got 32%. We asked the public, who would you trust to perform heart bypass surgery on you? Who got the most votes? Sean?
Well, if any of them do it, you're going to die, aren't you? Because it's not something that's got a bit of a knack to it, is it? That's why they've never had a faking it, where they take a scaffold and go, 3 weeks' time. The Pope?
Pope, miracle healing, you know?
Miracle.
Laying on of hands,
Yeah,
fixed,
yeah.
sorted.
Good bedside manner, probably.
OK, the Pope.
Dave, what do you think?
Driving past Manchester Royal Infirmary the other day, they had a sign that said, "This hospital has car thieves operating."
Go for Wayne Rooney, then.
No, just... Chorley Hospital is further down the list of Manchester Royal Infirmary and has guard dogs operating, which is a big worry for me. I don't know about that. I'm having this bone afterwards. Any ideas, lads?
I'd go for the Pope. I like the idea of the
They're
Pope.
gone for the Pope.
No, he can't.
Oh, right, but there's a reason I say the Pope, because if he did it on me, right, and he killed me, then he'd get accused of killing me, which is exactly what happened when the other Pope died. I got accused of killing him.
Ah.
Because I came home, hit the button on the remote control, and the man on the news said, if you've just turned your televisions on, the Pope is dead.
Sherry Blair.
I can tell you, Sherry Blair was the second highest answer with 28%, but the Pope won it with 41%. At the end of that round, Sean's team have 11 points and Dave's team have 4 points. And the winner is the name of our final round. I'm going to give the teams a series of opinion polls, and it's up to them to buzz in and tell me what or who they think came top. Here's your first one. Most disappointing holiday destination.
Leatherhead.
Costa dell'Amitre.
Lovely.
Is it Dusseldorf?
It's
You
not.
always see, you know, the EasyJet have those flights on Ryanair to Dusseldorf. And you think, why would you want to go? If you say, I'm taking you on a romantic weekend, where to? Dusseldorf.
I think it's anywhere where England's barmy army are when you get there. Spain especially, because I don't know if you've been there when there's been a football match on and they're all on the streets going, Championes, champion... And all the Spanish are going, that's mushrooms.
OK, come on, most disappointing. It's between Spain and France.
Andorra is between Spain and...
Andorra is the correct answer. The most disappointing holiday destination. This is from a That's Life magazine survey from last year. Most frequently told lie. Simon.
It's been great to have you on the show.
I must have downloaded it by accident.
It could be you.
Or is it, I won't come on your cat?
Most frequently told. It's more obvious than that. It's something that is often said by men to women.
Like a donkey.
Something like... You
Don't look fat in that.
Yeah.
You are exactly
Yeah.
right. The most frequently told lie is you
Yeah.
don't look fat in that.
Well done, Richard. Brilliant.
If you look, we've got the top 10 here. It's, of course, you don't look fat, is number one. These were only £10. Second most. The bus was late. I've got a headache. I've only had one drink. That dress looks good on you. The check's in the post. You look 10 years younger. You're wonderful in bed, and I love you. I think over the course of one weekend, I've used all of those. This is from a poll by Yours magazine from last year. Hardest thing to open.
A spearmint rhino in Kabul.
I think there's a market for it, I'll be honest.
Yep.
You go in there, pay your money. Oh, she's got beautiful eyes.
Is it the front door when you need a poo?
I shall tell you, surprisingly, the most difficult thing to open is not a West End musical. It is, in fact, bleach bottles. But considering the fact that kids can't get into an orange, why are we worrying? That sound tells me that it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Dave's team have 7 points, but winning tonight, Sean's team with 14 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and of course all the people we held up in the high street asking stupid questions. Good night.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, from Little Britain, David Walliams. Here's the news. It's Krishnan Guru Murthy. And their team captain, Dave Spikey. And facing them tonight, posh type Tara Palmer-Tompkinson. DJ Christian O'Connell. And their team captain, Sean Locke. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you your host, Jimmy Carr.
Good evening and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 13% of British men are superstitious? Ooh, 13. Unlucky. 55% of women in the northeast have used a sex toy. They are thinking about giving it a rinse before they lend it to the northwest. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Sean.
Well, I think there's a good chance they'll be talking about Russell Crowe, who's in a hotel. He was in a hotel in New York trying to phone his son in Australia so he could say, "Good night!" and "I love you!" And the phone didn't work, so he took it downstairs and threw it at the night porter. Still didn't work. Then he picks up a bowl of matches, chucks that at the night porter. Still doesn't work.
You know the man is going to get £1 million, maybe. He's suing for £1 million.
£1 million?
Well, it's definitely worth it.
I'd like him to throw a phone at me. And while he's at it, he can whip me with a leather glove and spit on me. And I'll give him £1 million.
Well, let's have a look and see if Russell Crowe is up on our list of the most talked about things of the week. Yes, it is. 37% of people were talking about Russell Crowe being in trouble again. If you do throw a phone at a hotel receptionist, the best way to get away with it is to say afterwards, "It's for you." Dave, your team. What else do you think the nation have been talking about this week?
Well, I'd say Michael Jackson. The jury's out, of course, it's all happening, and he's ill again. A commentator said, "I saw the colour drain from his face." I don't think so. The defence, well, part of the defence is that he's just reliving his childhood. Get a few mates round, get in bed, open a bottle of wine, watch some gay porn.
He doesn't call it wine, though, does he?
Jesus juice.
Jesus juice. That's what we call it, isn't it? They like it when I'm rude to Jimmy.
Well, he said, didn't he? He said that if he gets acquitted, he's very tempted to leave America now. Go to Africa and attain some sort of anonymity.
Just
Africa, they just blend in. May I suggest Finland? Maybe, I don't know.
Are you allowed to wear wigs in prison?
I presume that you're not allowed to wear wigs in prison.
That's going to be hard for him.
I don't know whether the wig's going to be the most difficult thing about being in prison. My hair looks rubbish, and stop that while you're at it.
Just put cameras all over the prison and call it, "I'm a Michael Jackson, get me out of here."
But unfortunately, he can't go, "I'm Michael Jackson, get me out of here." They go, "No, sorry, you're Michael Jackson, that's why you're in here."
Well, let's have a look and see if Michael Jackson is on our list. Yes, it is. It's the most talked about thing this week. 59% of people were talking about the Michael Jackson trial. The court proceedings were further delayed this week because Jackson kept nipping to the little boys' room. Not the best choice of words.
Surely the men would have spotted the orgasm story this week. Did you see that?
In the jeans, in women's jeans.
That was brilliant. It's a fantastic story because scientists have now proved that women's orgasms are all in their genes, which is great for us because not that I have a problem, but if I had a problem, it wouldn't be my fault.
No.
I could say...
What, you're not wearing jeans? Oh, jeans!
Everything Tara says is funny.
That would be one of those what are they talking about down the pub stories, I would say.
I think the very fact they're in the pub, they're not really bothered about women's orgasms.
We didn't make our list of the top 5 most talked about things. A scientific study has revealed that the ability to orgasm is hereditary. It means that grandmothers have the same orgasmic response as their granddaughters. This is according to research done by Professor Wayne Rooney. Fingers on buzzers if you know what people have been talking about this week.
Is it, people just go, you know, Bush and Blair. Blair's been using his special relationship with George Bush, which is, I suppose, like the same sort of relationship a tree has with a dog, to try and persuade him to give some more money to debt relief, Bob Geldof's debt relief thing.
Yeah.
And George Bush has just gone, nah. He won't even do anything about climate change, will he, Bush? He won't do any. He won't sign up to Kyoto, the Kyoto Agreement.
I think he recycled his copy of the agreement, that's something.
You know why on Kyoto that we also discovered this week was that a White House official had been doctoring government reports on climate change to water down the scientific evidence.
Oh, he's gone quite newsy, hasn't he?
Yeah, I don't know whether we should have had someone this clever on the show.
We should do something about it, because I don't know about you, I mean, I recycle stuff, you know, and you go to America, you do think to yourself, what is the point? Why do I even bother You know, and like, you know, you think yourself, you're washing out a Marmite pot and they're drilling for oil in Alaska. They're greedy, selfish, ignorant bastards. And that's just... I bet you, next time a hurricane hits Florida, I'm going to go, no! And if Clarkson's on holiday, bingo!
Well, let's have a look if Bush and Blair talking has been in the news.
Yeah. Well done.
What else have people been doing?
I think it's Bob Geldof and his G8 plans. He
That
wants
is in the news.
all these sailors from the south coast to sail across to France. And bring back 10,000 French people. And if you sent all these boats out from England with all these little sailors in, they'd just come back with 30 crates of Stella, wouldn't they? 30 crates of Stella, 500 fags. It's for an 18th. Oh, aye.
Do we know who's playing in the gig?
Who's playing?
Are you going to do a bit?
Yeah, I'm on just after Sting, yeah.
Tara, are you doing a little bit? Live 8?
Do a little bit. Are you?
She's parlayed that across.
Are there not any black artists on the bill at all?
There's one, I think.
Youssou N'Dour is on.
Youssou N'Dour, but he's in Paris, isn't he?
And Edinburgh.
He's pretty big, isn't he?
Would it be wrong to get Sting to black up?
Can I just say that I've noticed something? You're sitting on a silk cushion.
I know.
With
You're like
tassels.
Prince Charles.
Come on, let's just have a look at this. Come on, look at this. Well, I'm having that. Here we are. We're all having a cushion.
Well, now... I can't now do the rest of the show having lost a foot. I enjoyed 8 out of 10 Cats, Channel 4, but I noticed Jimmy got a lot shorter during the first round.
Come on, shush. Come on.
Oh, I'm a martyr to my piles.
You're doing very well. OK, now just read what it says there. You'll be fine.
Right, let's have a look and see if Live 8 was in our most talked about things.
Come on.
Yes, it was number 3 last week, but it's gone up to number 2 this week. Bob Geldof has urged people to recreate the Dunkirk spirit by collecting people from France in their boats. The Germans have pledged to do their bit by bombing the beaches. Okay, one more to get. Come on, have a go.
Is it the fact that the government want to charge us all now for every mile that we drive in our cars? And that's their big new idea, which, funnily enough, they only announced 2 weeks after being re-elected, but never mentioned it beforehand, before the election.
It's never going to work, is it? I mean, has anybody got sat nav? Because you go past a few trees and it's lost them, hasn't it? It's lost the satellite altogether.
No, what car are you driving?
Right, let's have a look and see if the road charge is one of the most talked about things this week. Yes, the government are looking at a system to measure how far we drive so they can charge us accordingly. Isn't that petrol? So at the end of that round, Sean's team have 2 points and Dave's team have 3 points. The next round is called the Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. Dave, David and Krishnan, 10% of British men lie about what at school reunions?
What school they went to? You like that one, didn't you, Dave? That tickled you, didn't it?
Very good.
So 10% of British men lie about...
Well, maybe there's no word there, it's just lie about at school reunions.
They lie about men they first had sex, if they had sex.
I'm going to give you that. At school reunions, 10% of British men lie about the number of sexual partners they've had. I lied about mine. I rounded the number up to 1. OK, Sean, Tara and Christian. This is from a poll by Churchill Insurance from January of this year.
Okay.
Women spend, on average, £100,000 on what during their lifetime?
Is it women spend an average of £100,000 on, judging from the tampon adverts, is it skydiving and rollerblading lessons?
You really understand women, don't you?
Of course I do, yeah.
The women I've gone out with, it's not rent.
Oh, Christ.
You've been hurt, haven't you?
Oh, God.
Botox? I can still frown, by the way.
Is it,
Go
little...
on, have a frown.
Yeah,
Frown?
Botox.
A frown? That's frowning, is it? There's nothing from there up.
Well, exactly, so Botox.
It's the average woman, not the average socialite.
I know, clothes.
Yes! Dave's team next. This is from last June. 44% of American dads say that what features in their sex lives?
Jacko.
The letters WWW.
Is it being bummed in the woods by hillbillies? It's smutty, this show, isn't it?
I shall tell you this because it's quite difficult to get. 44% of American dads say that religion features in their sex lives. Sean, this is according to a survey featured in The Mirror in April. The popularity of what has increased by 26% in the last 3 years?
Bird flu.
You're half right.
I thought it was going to be something like Gary Glitter. You know, because about 3 years ago, anyone said, what do you think of Gary Glitter? People go, no, I don't like him. Whereas now, they go, well, not really. So that's more popular, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. I can see that theory
Things have
working.
got slightly better for him.
Oh, definitely, yeah.
You know, they've started playing his music again. What if Jackson gets done, will they stop playing his music?
Radio 2 have said they're going to.
They're going to carry on playing it, even if
No, if he gets put away, no more Jacko 5
Really?
songs. Yeah.
No, it's a shame Phil Collins is such a law-abiding citizen.
Shall I have to tell you this? The popularity of bird watching has increased by 26% in the last 3 years. Most ornithologists agree. Those birds are definitely up to something. So at the end of that round, it's 5 points for Sean's team and 6 points for Dave's team. Time for What's the Poll? I'm going to show you 5 people who are all popular answers on the same poll. All our panellists have to do is tell me, what's the poll? OK, teams, buzz in if you think you know the answer. Here's your first person.
I've had enough now. I've really had enough. It's just all over the place. It's just through 120 degrees right now. If we couldn't go that way and we can't. Just so had enough.
Ellen MacArthur there. She sailed around the world quicker than anyone has ever done it before. She only wanted to go to the Isle of Wight, but women, directions, what can you do? So, what poll do you think she might have appeared on?
Is it people who like sitting in a floating computer while it drives you around the world?
When she's doing the round the world, the single-handed thing, I'd love to have been a stowaway, and she just gets near the end and go, ha! You thought you was on your own. I was there all along. I think it might be a poll of women who look like 9-year-old boys. She does. She looks like a young lad, really eager young lad with their cheeks. I reckon if the next picture's Jeanette Cranky, I've got it right.
Maybe she's just on a poll for people who are jolly good with boats.
Lovely poll that would be.
Let's have a look at the next person on the list.
Ooh. It's on your head. It's on your head.
That's Camilla, the Duchess of Cornwall, as beautiful as she is black. Elton John has already penned a song for when she dies. Crocodile Rock. What poll might Ellen MacArthur and Camilla have both appeared on?
Is it Pipe Smoker of the Year?
Is it a list of women you'd rather have from behind?
Let me just check. No. Let's have a look at the next person on this poll.
250 grams of butter. Ooh, lovely. Baby. And whisk it up, me old darling. Chocolate. Cheesecake mould. All right. We're off, mate. Cool.
People who shop at Sainsbury's.
Oh, that's what it is.
I'm afraid not.
What's he saying? I didn't understand a single word.
Sorry, what was that, Dave? I couldn't...
I like Jamie Oliver, though. Do people like Jamie Oliver?
Is it I thought it was the Crazy Frog. Sorry. I thought it was the Crazy Frog.
What poll do you think they all feature on?
Is it something to do with school dinners? Jamie Oliver did a show about school dinners. So I got that sort of right, didn't I?
And the other two... Don't really matter.
Well, maybe one of her horses has ended up in a school dinner, Camilla's horses. She probably... the local school said, we haven't got anything to eat. And she just went, I'll have one of my horses. Ellen MacArthur, she's probably went to school. She's probably still at school. She looks like she's at school. Looks like she's just had a lovely, scrummy, big, spotted dick.
Williams, what do you think?
I don't know. I'd like to see a couple more people and then make up my mind.
Well, let's have a look at the fourth person. Richard Branson, then. Nope.
They're all windy people in some way. They're all windy.
No, they're not.
Is it something to do with advertising? Sainsbury's, something else?
Camilla did Asda.
Asda.
Yeah, Asda Price, that was her.
Oh, yeah, maybe they all do that. Good one.
OK, let's have a look at the fifth person on this poll.
Who's that? Oh, wait.
Ooh,
She just got off the toilet. Is it something to do with nationalities?
You're along the right line, so...
Is he the greatest English person ever?
Yes. Yes, they all appear on the English Person of the Year poll. So at the end of that round, it's 6 points to Dave's team and 6 points to Sean's team. And the winner is the name of our final round. I'm going to give the teams a series of opinion polls and surveys. They've just got to buzz in and tell me who or what they think came top. Here's your first one. OK, this is from a poll featured in the Evening Standard from January. Best way to slow down traffic.
Oh, I don't know.
Strippers on the hard shoulder.
Wear something dark, get an hairdryer, and go and point it at cars.
Put your foot on the brake and slow down.
It's so simple, but it's right. That was brilliant.
Best way to slow down traffic is just let old people drive. Because it's as if they're permanently looking for a parking space, isn't it? And she's always got a belt hanging out the door. And it is my ambition to get my front wheels on that belt and have her out, you know.
The best way to slow down traffic, according to the survey, is flashing signs, specifically the ones that say, slow down. This is from a survey of kids for the Cartoon Network TV channel from April of this year. Children's choice for Prime Minister.
Oh, SpongeBob SquarePants.
But it's more likely to be Pingu, isn't it? I mean,
Pingu?
He talks a lot of sense if you listen to him.
Is it Krishnaguru Murphy from Newsround?
That was a long time ago.
Oh.
How are they dealing with the Michael Jackson thing, the King of Pop?
With great care.
Are they getting morphed to reenact it?
I remember Newsround was just always about pandas. Pandas were mating in which zoos around the world. There was always good news, the pandas got pregnant. Yeah. That's all it was ever.
It's mainly a panda update, isn't it, really?
It's panda round.
It doesn't matter, because children are idiots, they're stupid. They know what they're doing. They're going to pick someone stupid, because they're... It's our idea that kids are really clever. They're not. They're thick as pig shit, children. They will buy anything if it's got a cartoon character on it. You know, you give them a bag of gravel if it's got Shrek on the front. They're morons. I hate them. They're paintings. They're shit, aren't they? They're paintings.
You've got a little baby, haven't you?
Yeah.
It's really mellowed you, isn't it?
Yeah.
I tell you what, it's a footballer.
Wayne Rooney.
Correct.
Oh.
Yes, kids went for Wayne Rooney as their choice for Prime Minister. Fourth on the list was Danny Jones from McFly. He doesn't even get to make the decisions in McFly. This is from a poll by iVillage.com from April. World's best place to pull.
The handle?
Probably in the... Supposed to pull?
I think it's on this show. There's a lot of tension.
Christian?
Is it the Neverland Ranch?
It's in Italy.
Rome.
It's in Rome, yeah.
Trevi Fountain.
No.
St. Peter's Square.
No.
That's where the Pope
Pope's
lives.
balcony.
No. Come on, there's only one famous place in Rome you haven't mentioned.
Colosseum.
All right, two.
Sistine Chapel.
Three famous places places in Rome you haven't mentioned?
Lorenzo's shag pad.
The Spanish Steps, yes. OK, this is from a report by the Birmingham Post from March. Birmingham's favourite vegetable.
Ozzy Osbourne.
Did you say it was the Birmingham Evening Post?
Yeah.
That must have been a slow news week in Birmingham, hasn't it? Well, there's nothing going on. Let's find out what vegetables people like. I hope it's onion.
Correct. Birmingham's favourite vegetable is the onion. A lot of people cry when they chop onions. I don't. The trick is not to form an emotional bond. Well, that sound tells me that it's the end of that round and the end of the game, which means the final scores are Sean's team have 9 points, but Dave is the winner with 11 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and all of you watching at home. We'll be back next week.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, staying up late, Eamon home. The return of the Mac, Lee Mac, and their leader, Dave Spikey. And facing them tonight, come dancing, it's Claudia Winkleman, funny man Alan Carr, and their king, Sean Locke. Ladies and gentlemen, your host, Jimmy Carr.
Good evening and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 89% of 11-year-olds have mobile phones? Doesn't surprise me, one of the little bastards has got mine. Apparently, we use only 2% of the English language available in everyday conversation. I find that statistic utterly impericatobulous. And on average, the human brain can only remember 4 things at any one time. Keys, wallet, bags, phone. Who am I? Right, let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panellists' job to guess Britain's top 5 most popular talking points. Dave.
Well, I'm going out on a limb here, and it's an American thing, I don't know if you saw it. Michael Jackson.
Michael who, sorry?
Michael Jackson, the pop singer, was acquitted of all charges. They said the defence was very good, very strong. They blamed it on the sunshine, blamed it on the moonlight. Blamed it on the boogie. There's a lot of speculation, though, isn't there? Where does he go from here? Where's his future lie? And there is speculation that he's coming to England, and he's made for Panto, the guy. Well, he actually is. It's all fairy tales, it's all Never Never Land, it's all that. He's made for Panto. Small part in Aladdin would suit him, just to get him... The Genie of the Ring, maybe. He's behind you!
But I don't you think when he said, no more boys in my bed, that's quite an astonishing... Very rarely in your life you ever need to say that sentence again. It's a bit like somebody who's got off like a bank robbery charge going, I'll tell you what, I won't be hanging around the town centre with a shotgun and a balaclava anymore.
Did you see when they were saying that is Michael Jackson wearing a wig? I'm afraid when you've got a face like that, does it matter? I mean, a bad wig hardly going to spoil the look. Maybe when he got home he just went, oh, thank God for that. What do you reckon about his wife, though, Debbie Rowe? when that's just so weird, the trial. I mean, when she went in, they went, oh, he's a great father, what a role model. Did you get the impression that the real Debbie Rowe was, like, locked in a cupboard going... He
went down to 7 stone during the trial, which is actually lighter than most kids.
To be fair, not American kids.
No.
Eamon, what do you think's next for Michael Jackson? Some sort of job on GMTV, maybe?
Leave this one going.
I'd love to see that. Little Michael on the sofa.
He's got a new single. He should bring out a single called No More Boys in Bed. Yeah. No more boys in bed. And then he just had loads of old men in his bed.
Let's have a look and see where Michael Jackson came in terms of the most talked about things this week.
Yes.
Well, what a surprise. The most talked about thing this week was the Michael Jackson trial. Almost 94% of people were talking about Michael Jackson. Most were saying, hang on, sorry, it's a terrible line. Did you say not guilty? A lot of people think the case was about race. Typical, the rich white guy always gets off. Sean, over to you. What do you think people have been talking about this week?
What about Mike Tyson giving up boxing to become a wedding planner?
Would you get most of your news from Take a Break magazine?
No, sorry to interrupt you. Do you know when they reported it to Evander Holyfield, they went to him and said, Tyson's given up, and he went, no. They said, yeah, he's actually given up, and he went, I can't believe me ear.
I can tell you it wasn't in the top 5, it was the 19th most talked about thing this week. Mike Tyson has announced this week that he wants to quit boxing. He said that he wants to become a Christian missionary, though when asked to make the sign of the cross, he said, right, Dave, Lee and Eamon, what have people been talking about this week?
Is it the honours list?
Yeah, it is the honours list. I woke up last week and it said, genial Irish breakfast host made a sir. Downhill after that.
What did Brian May get his for, do we know? Services to Anita Dobson.
I used to like it when normal people got OBEs. You remember, like, you know, lollipop ladies and, like, toilet attendants? That was nice, weren't it? Could you imagine it really going to the red light? Sheila, that toilet's blocked. Dame Sheila.
That's a lot more Rod Hull, the toilet cleaner.
Sean, who would you give an honour to?
Michelle McManus, make her a dame.
Thank you!
Am I being thicker? Who's Michelle McManus?
Yeah. She won Pop Idol. She's an enormous whale of a girl.
Oh,
She's lost 6 stone. She's doing...
Lost 6 stone? That's like throwing a deck chair off the Titanic. She's lost 6 stone. She's taken a dump. Right, let's have a look if the Queen's Honours is one of our most talked about things.
Oh, yes.
Yes, this week the Queen's birthday honours were announced. Of course, the Queen has 2 birthdays a year, which goes some way towards explaining why she looks so old. OK, you've got 3 more to get. Fingers on buzzers.
Prince Harry at Sandhurst.
Yeah, so this is the story of a Sun journalist breaking into Sandhurst with a fake bomb.
But the thing is, they're always doing this, aren't they? The tabloids, the Sun and the Mirror, they're constantly, like, you know, trying to breach security arrangements. And I imagine every time Al Qaeda read it, they just go, I wish we'd thought of that.
Claudia, are you worried about Harry's safety?
Yes. I was undecided. It was 50... Well, yes, a little. Well, I think...
You haven't thought about it, have you?
No.
You said they took a fake bomb in there, which basically is anything, isn't it? You know, a brush is a fake bomb, isn't it?
Well, let's have a look and see if this was one of the most talked about things this week.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it was. This is the story of a Sun journalist who smuggled a fake bomb into Sandhurst. Harry was initially excited. He thought they'd smuggled in a bong.
Is it the story about people trying to sell... the ticket touts trying to sell on eBay the Live 8 tickets? Because I was disgusted by that, as everybody was.
What did you bid?
I wouldn't bid, honestly. I was disgusted. Like, Bob Geldof said boycott it for a week, but they backtracked, so I didn't bother. But at one point, I was going to get me snuff movies and me ivory chess set from somewhere else. And then...
When you say snuff movie, it's some old bloke going...
Yeah. Just going, bloody weather.
Let's have a look and see whether the Live 8 eBay ticket fiasco was one of our most talked about stories.
Oh, yes.
Yes. It was the second most talked about thing this week. You've got one more to guess.
Is it by any chance the world debt? The fact
Tell
that
me
they're
more.
going to reduce the world debt. The Western world is going to reduce the African debt, and it's going to work out to about £1 per person per year, right? Which I thought, that's quite good, isn't it? £1. I'm quite happy to give that to solve. But then they said, for 10 years. I was thinking, that's £10, isn't it?
Oh, how tight are the Northerns? Oh.
How pompous are the Southerners?
Not very pompous at all. Well, shall we have a look and see whether the debt cancellation is one of our top 5 talked about stories? Yes, I can tell you that the G8 leaders have pledged to drop $40 billion worth of debt. Well, they haven't actually cancelled the debt. What they've done is they've consolidated it into one easy monthly payment. Rwanda gets a charming carriage clock. And don't worry, Chad, no salesman will call. At the end of that round, Sean, Alan and Claudia have no points, and Dave, Lee and Eamon have 5 points. The next round is called the Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. Question number 1. This is from a survey by Mother and Baby magazine from June 2005. 50% of British dads are what?
Counting the days till the kids leave home.
Are your kids going to be watching this?
Is it 50% of British dads are crap at putting shelves up? Because I am. Just awful. My wife said, put some shelves up, and I went, no, you'll want them straight and everything. I know you're... I'm not proud of this. I went to the library to get a DIY boot, and I said to the one behind the counter, I said, have you got any boots on shelves? She went...
Is it 50% of dads are suing Durex? Not necessarily Durex, it could be any of the Rubber Johnny manufacturers.
There's a new promotion for it. I don't know if you've seen it in the chemist at the moment. It's a brand new promotion. It's for condoms, and it says, no, new shape. What new shape? Is that for workers at Sellafield? Is that for...
I'll give you a clue. It's something to do with having babies.
Tired, sleepy.
Claudia, you said sleepy.
Tired, exhausted.
I'm going to give you a point. It is, in fact, 50% of British dads are sleep-deprived. Well, they have to wake up 3 times a night to tell their wives, it's crying again. Sean's team. This is from research carried out by the Department of Psychology at the University of Texas from June this year. Men consistently find women with what the most attractive?
Is it Rod Stewart? He's often got a charming young lady on his arm.
Big tits, low self-esteem.
Is it GPS? Oval satellite positioning.
Is it with a naked twin sister? That would get a thumbs up, wouldn't it?
Yeah, certainly would. Thumbs up.
Oh, do you know what it might be?
Go on. I don't think
a degree.
A degree? Yeah. Oh, so naive.
No teeth.
No, men consistently find women with a weight-to-height ratio of between 0.68 and 0.8 the most attractive.
I was going to say that.
That roughly translates as not the stocky ones. Dave, Eamon and Lee, this next one is from a poll by the Health Development Agency from January this year. 60% of drivers think what is a good idea?
Oh, those chevrons on the motorway. Have you seen those? It's a road safety thing. You've got to keep 2 chevrons from the car in front. Yeah. And it's not, it's wrong.
Why?
I nearly killed myself trying to keep up with the Porsche last week. He's going 150, and I'm like, this can't be right, this can't be safe.
Is it 60% of drivers think that driving with your knees whilst eating a Ginster's pasty? It's the only way to do it. One underneath, one to cup for the small bits of potato. I'm not wasting that, I'd rather risk my life.
Is it?
No.
Is it playing lullabies, having a pillow?
Is it driving past a little chef?
Is it 60% of drivers think that kids doing that thumbs up thing is OK, because it gets right on my bloody nerve? When you're driving behind a car and kids like that. I do that, I go like that. Show your mum.
OK, I can tell you it's something that you would expect drivers not to like.
Speed cameras.
Eamon, you're brilliant, you got it.
That doesn't...
Every week there seems to be another statistic. I mean, I don't know, you saw like 63% of kids now have underage sex, yet last month 72 were obese. So who's shagging these fat kids?
So, at the end of that round, I can tell you that Sean's team have 2 points and Dave's team are in the lead with 7. Our next round is face-off, a head-to-head challenge between our 2 team captains. Sean and Dave have 6 well-known faces in front of them. Michael Jackson, Abu Hamza, Kate Moss, John Prescott, the late Mother Teresa of Calcutta and the entire population of France. We asked the British public to rank these people on a series of questions. All Sean and Dave have to do is guess who came top. OK, Sean, this is to you. Who would be most likely to steal a handbag?
Hamza wouldn't, would he? Because he, hasn't got any hands. He'd have no need for it, would he? Probably need a bag of hands. Be quite handy. Michael Jackson, I don't think he needs the aggro at the moment, I think he's going to lie low for a while. The French, of course, the entire population of France, they'd be most likely to nick a handbag, because he's bound to have a couple of wrong ones.
Bound to. Yeah. Dave, who are you going to go for?
I would have gone with the French, but I can't know. They are generally untrustworthy, I find. Abu Hamza probably does it accidentally, probably doesn't mean to do it. Just like, oh, sorry, have it back. Lads?
Mother Teresa.
No.
That's very confident. Why is that?
Robbing bitch.
Oh.
That's the facade, all that religious stuff. That tea towel's not hers.
Yeah.
I'm going to go Abu Hamza.
You're going Abu Hamza. The entire population of France got 12%. Abu Hamza was the top answer. 47% of people think it. We asked the public, who would you most like to take a bath with?
Hamza, he's not going to get much of a lather up with hooks, is he? Jackson, I think he'd be intimidated by my adult genitalia, so... I don't think he'd feel very comfortable around that.
Who are you going to go for?
I'll go for Kate Moss.
OK. Dave, who are you going to go for?
Abu Hamza, he'd be... You know, at the end, when you've got all that hair in the plug hole, get that out, couldn't he, quite easily? And I'd like to see his knob.
Really?
Is that...
Well, no. You just don't know, he might have a corkscrew. You don't know, he might... See, any ideas?
I think Abu Hamza would be great because what you could do is you could put loads of those plastic ducks in and he might win you a goldfish.
Dave, who would you most like to take a bath with?
I'll have the entire population of France.
Well, the entire population of France is the second most popular answer, 18%, but Kate Moss, 63%. Top answer, you get the points. Dave, we asked the British public, who do you think would make the best James Bond? Who do you think got the most votes?
A few contenders here. Abu Hamza, Dr. Norfinger. Jackson's got his best work is undercover, perhaps you could say. He could entice women back to his bedroom, get between the sheets, and who's that? Playing the Game Boy there. It's all right. Next to the monkey. Next to the monkey. All right, just get in. I don't know. Best James, but any ideas, team?
Abu Hamza could do For Your Eye Only.
John Prescott, smooth, suave, sophisticated, elegant, charisma, and he can punch.
We will go, our team, with John Prescott.
OK, Sean, what do you think?
Well, the entire population of France, you say?
Yeah, all of them.
Well, I think they'd have trouble sneaking up on people. Make a bit of noise.
Smell them a mile off, wouldn't
Imagine 60 million.
you? Go on, what's your team? Check in with them.
Oh, yeah, sorry, I forgot about them. Hello.
Hi.
Hi, you all right?
Yeah, it's all right, fine here. A bit lonely.
Can I put forward Kate Moss? Could be Janine Bond.
Yeah, but Janine, that's like someone who works in Greggs. Oh, Janine. All right, love. Oh, Goldfinger, we meet at last.
Kate Moss.
OK, you go for Kate Moss. I can tell you Kate Moss got 17% of the vote, but Prescott got 39% of the vote. Number one answer. Frankly, I'm amazed Abu Hamza got 8% of the vote there. You pretty much have to rewrite the character. James Bond, he's suave, debonair, no hands, one eye. Shaken, not stirred. And can I have that in a cup with a handle, please? So, at the end of that round, I can tell you that Sean's team have 4 points and Dave's have 10 points. I'm going first. And the winner is the name of our final round. I'm going to give the teams a series of opinion polls, and it's up to them to buzz in and tell me who or what they think came top. Here's your first one. This is from a poll featured in the Glasgow Daily Record from September 2004. Britain's favourite smell.
Is it a burning Frenchman?
Bacon. Or freshly born rabbits.
Freshly born rabbits?
By the way, you clinched it there in the last second.
Hang on a second. Bacon or, and this is part of the same guess, freshly born rabbits.
If you go into a pet shop and they have rabbits and they're just, ooh, lovely. And they're so tiny, and they're so small, and they're so sweet little ears.
What you've done is you've answered a question about Britain's favourite smell, and what I've got from your answer was she'd be a nightmare girlfriend. It's interesting, isn't it, what comes across? It's not little baby rabbits. Is it a kebab at 3 o'clock in the morning?
Oh, yes.
Oh, yes. But when you walk past it during the day, you go, look at that shit, I wouldn't eat that. 3 o'clock in the morning, oh, yes. OK, I'll give you a clue. It's a meal.
Oh, it is fresh.
A roast, Sunday roast or something like that. Sunday roast. Correct.
Oh!
Yes, Britain's favourite smell is roast dinner. OK, this is a poll commissioned by Grolsch Lager in 2000. Things to do before you die.
Angelina Jolie.
Is it punch a dolphin?
It's not punch a dolphin, no.
No. Is it go swimming with them and then just give them a little jab?
Yeah, I think so. They've just missed it off mine, yeah.
Stick your finger in the hole and carry it around like a six-pack.
Yes, the most popular thing to do before you die is swim with dolphins. Friendliest town in Britain?
Ooh.
I'd say Cockermouth. I've never been. If that's how they got their name, though, it's a fair bet, isn't it? It's worth a trip. It's worth a trip out, isn't it?
Yeah, same applies to Oldham.
Belfast, Glasgow, Newcastle, Liverpool.
Oh, everyone's talking about pop music.
I think it's Bolton. You're absolutely right, it is Bolton. London just missed out on the top 10 friendliest places in Britain, coming in at 948. Just behind the island from the Wicker Man. Well, that sound tells me that it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean's team have 6 points and Dave is our winner with 15 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and all of you watching at home. Good night.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, the original prankster, Paul Kaye. Live from Croydon, Sue Perkins. And their captain, Dave Spikey. And facing them tonight, from T4, it's June Sarpong. From the dark side, Peter Serafinovich. And their captain, John Locke. People, it's your host, Jimmy Carr.
Well, thanks very much indeed, and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 18% of Brits prefer gardening to spending intimate time with their partner? I say, give me a pair of gloves and a bottle of Miracle Grow, and I'm ready for either. 1 in 3 adults believe in angels, and to those people I say, would you like to buy some magic beans? And 98% of people say, come on, you two. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That is the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panellists' job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. Sean, what have people been talking about?
Well, personally, I think I've lost count this week the number of times people have, mostly strangers, have turned to me and said, oh, you're hot, isn't it? Oh, brilliant. Oh, I'm so hot. And I think, yeah, I know. I'm standing next to you. In fact, that's the only thing we've got in common. We're hot. I mean, I think to myself, like, if they said, look, eagle, I'd be interested. There goes Vinnie Jones on a penny farthing. Then they go, oh, are you close? Do you find it close? No, I find you a bit close.
I like the fact it makes the world a bit of a friendlier place. Because you've all got a conversation to have.
Well, yeah, it's not a conversation, is it? You go, it's hot, and they go, yeah, it is, isn't it? That's it. See ya. Right.
No, that's all the conversation I want with my dry cleaner. I don't want them to go, Tolstoy. Do you think he's overrated?
It doesn't go anywhere, the hot thing, does it? Doesn't it? It just goes, you're hot, yeah, hot. Yeah. You can't go, no, I'm not hot, I'm a robot. Yes. Atmospheric conditions don't affect me.
I think robots would be more prone to the heat, actually.
Really?
Yeah.
Well, metal conducts heat.
Yeah.
It's hot, isn't it? Yes.
You're right, actually, yeah, I'm totally ashamed of myself. Yeah, there's probably loads of robots out there going, bloody boiling, isn't it? Oh, is it me?
Well, let's have a look and see if the weather was one of the most talked about things this week. Oh. Yes, it was. It was the most talked about thing in the last week. We've all been talking about how hot June is. It's been so hot, some pensioners have even been taking off their cardies. Dave, Sue, Paul, what have people been talking about this week?
Wimbledon's back, isn't it? I mean, Tim Edmund's out, thank God. Yeah. I'm sorry, you know, I'm sure he's a nice bloke, I'm sure he can play tennis and all that, but you can't watch him for all that. Come on, Tim! Come on, Tim! Is it some sort of competition going on and he'll get the ball and he'll pick it up. Come on, Tim, you can do it! No, he can't. No, he can't. His grandfather was a tennis player, his grandmother was the first woman to serve overhand at Wimbledon.
What, his grandma?
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
Slut.
Complaining about the women grunting.
Oh.
Aren't they?
Yeah.
And I always say, a grunter's better than a sweater.
Isn't the grunting thing, they're just going to try and ban it because they say, like, they might be trying to put people off. Because if you can listen to occasionally, they go, loser! I'd like to see it go to other sports like snooker and they just go,
Somebody said that Sharapova's grunt was louder than a petrol-powered lawnmower.
If she makes that much noise hitting a tennis ball, how much noise would she make if she was... I know she probably won't ever have to shift pianos, but she's not going to be at the top forever. She sounds... I've heard lorry drivers in cubicles at service stations making less noise than that.
Let's have a look and see if Wimbledon is one of the top 5 most talked about things this week.
Oh, yes.
Oh. Yes, it is. Yes, Tim Henman went out of Wimbledon yesterday. It's the time of year when everyone says how rubbish he is. Yeah, he's 9th in the world. That's 9th out of 6 billion. It's not bad. At least he's in it. You can't even work the interactive coverage. Sean, what else have people been talking about this week?
Tom Cruise being squirted.
By some pranksters. Really funny guy.
From Channel 4, actually.
Channel 4, yeah.
Yeah.
What do you think they've got next on the list? They thought that was funny. Have they got, like, bumming David Blunkett's dog?
If they put it on TV, I'd watch it, that's all I'm saying.
I bet they wouldn't have done it if it was Jackie Chan, would they? No. Jackie Chan was on the red carpet, they go...
Russell Crowe. Somebody with a sense of humour.
Yeah.
Something like that, you know. You see why it's funny, Russell? It's put that down now.
You did a lot of this kind of caper with Dennis Pennis. Did you ever get anyone getting shirty or lawsuits or anything?
Russell Grant.
So you went for the big target?
I went for the big boy, yeah.
He was at the height of his powers then.
What did you say to
I asked
Russell
him if he could read palms. He said, of course I can. So I said, what does that say? I said, f*** off, you fat
He's so sensitive.
He loved it.
OK, let's have a look if Tom Cruise is in the top 5 most talked about things. Hey. Yes. This week, Tom Cruise was hit in the face by a jet of water as part of a TV comedy show. Channel 4 said the incident was not intended to cause offence and was very much in the spirit of fun. They sent flowers to apologise. Well, one flower, and said, you've got to smell it right up close. Tom Cruise last week proposed to Katie Holmes. He said, will you marry me? She said, you had me at I'm a billionaire. Dave, what else have people been talking about? You've got 2 more to get.
I'll just go for 1 million fat kids in the country. Fat parents have fat kids, and that's what happens, you know. And I was in this pub, and they just come in as a family, like there's mum and dad and Chantal Demi. He's at the bar, ordering the food, shouting across the pub, Doreen, what are you having? I'll have them nachos. Nachos with cheese, then I'll have that all-day breakfast, mega breakfast. I'll have that, then Bakewell tarts and custard. Onion rings, don't forget, a bag of chips, don't worry, yeah. What are you having drink? Oh, Diet Coke. This bloke shouted over and said, any more of this dieting, Doreen, you'll go down plug hole. I said she won't go down a pissing manhole.
We've got a third of Europe's fat kids. Yeah. England!
I'm afraid that the story wasn't one of the most talked about things this week. But yes, there was a story that there are 1 million obese children in Britain today. Do you realise that if they all jumped up and down at the same time, they might just lose some weight? Fingers on buzzers. What else have people been talking about?
Is it the smoking? They're finalising the smoking bill.
Yeah.
And they're deciding what considers to be a public place. For example, they're saying a bus stop is a public place, you can't smoke there. So I think, what am I going to do for 2 hours then? And...
I think for kids, they're trying to raise the age, aren't they, as well, to 18. So they're not allowed to buy knives at 16, they can't wear hoods. How are they going to look hard?
Let's have a look and see if the smoking ban is one of our top 5 stories. Yes, it is, the 4th most talked about thing this week. The new legislation bans smokers from lighting up in pubs. Some say it's just another example of the nanny state. A government spokesman said, I think someone's overtired. But you've got 1 more thing to get.
Is it this the fiasco that was the American Grand Prix, where none of them would race because they got the wrong tyres on? 200,000 Americans just watched 6 of them go round. And Schumacher won.
In what way is that different from normal Grand Prix?
More of them.
Schumacher said, though, he was in his very dry German way, he said, yeah, they're throwing things on the track, water, and by the smell of it, some beer.
How fast is he going so he can smell the beer on the way round?
Well, let's have a look and see if the Formula 1 fiasco is in the top 5 talked about things. Yes, it is. Yes, because of a problem with the tyres, only 6 cars raced in the American Grand Prix. It's the first time in history that Formula 1 has genuinely resembled Scalextric. So, at the end of that round, I can tell you that Sean, June and Peter have 3 points, and Dave, Paul and Sue have 2 points. The next round is called the Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. OK, Sean Steen, you are first. 80% of Daily Mail readers don't like what?
Reggae.
They don't like anything, do they? If they had their way, one end of the Channel Tunnel, a big cheese grater, wouldn't it?
Neglect.
Yeah.
I like the way you immediately gave it a name in French.
Did I?
Yeah,
Do you know what I thought that and didn't say it, but obviously I said it.
Is it people whose houses are on wheels? Who like to move about a bit? Settle down for a couple of weeks, burn a few tyres and then move on.
Don't like the way that George Eliot's Mill on the Floss ended. Found it a little downbeat.
It's something rude.
Gay sex?
No,
gag balls.
Ripping a chimp, they don't like that.
Where might they see sex?
On the telly. Everywhere.
Correct. 80% of Daily Mail readers don't like sex on TV. If you're a Daily Mail reader, look away now.
That's actually quite erotic.
Yeah.
OK, I can't tell you the source of this one, Dave's team, because it would give it away. 80% of doctors are in favour of what?
Kissing it better.
Is it working from home?
80% doctors are in favour of Dr. Fox being struck off.
Is it acupuncture? Only I've had it and it works, you know, it's good. But I always wonder, how did they ever get that past the medical council, that's sticking pins in you? And how did it ever come about? Was it two samurai warriors centuries ago going, ching, 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 oh, my headache's gone.
Do you know if it goes wrong, do you have to use an acupuncture repair kit?
It's 80% of doctors are in favour of chloramphenicol for red eye in children. This is from a survey that featured in the Daily Express in December 2004. 50% of people can't explain what is.
Is it Kamal from Big Brother?
Sillet bang. What is sillet bang?
What?
What? It's sad, you know, I found it in the bathroom the other day. I'm reading it because I'm on the toilet, and well, you do, don't you? I've done the bleach, I've done the sif. Sillet bang, and there's no ingredients on it. It's very Moorish.
I'll give you a clue. It's something to do with finance.
Bank.
Yeah, bank. Yeah, seriously.
What's a bank?
What is a bank? My friend said to me, what's a building society? He said, I don't know what a building society is. And I said, what's a bank? I don't know what a bank is. I don't know what it is. What is it? They say that they've got your money, you know, and
then you go in and they give it to you.
Yeah. Usually they have.
I mean, it's not really as easy as that sometimes. Yeah. You know, they make it difficult for you, you know, and they give you interest, and but somehow like they invest your money in things, and
I feel like, Peter, you're auditioning for the thickest man in Europe.
Shall I tell you?
Yeah.
50% of people can't explain what an overdraft is. I'll tell you what, give me your PIN number and I'll show you. So at the end of that round, it's 5 points for Sean's team and 5 points for Dave's team. Time for What's the Poll? I'm going to show you 5 people who are all popular answers on the same poll. All our panellists have to do is tell me what's the poll. We'll play them one by one. After each clip, both teams can buzz in and suggest what poll they might have appeared on. Here's your first one.
Despite the pouring rain, crowds turn out to witness the mysterious arrival of Mr. Gandhi, who has come to London for the Round Table Conference.
Ah, that's lovely. Huh?
There was, of course, a film made of Gandhi's life, 1.5 million extras. That's a hell of a DVD, isn't it? Gandhi there, what poll might he have appeared on?
Least popular ice cream flavour. Gandhi flavour.
I've spent some time in India. It's a wonderful, fantastic country. It's
Yes.
amazing. It's a beautiful country,
Yes.
yeah. It's the only place in the world, actually, you can get killed by a tiger or a salad.
Is it people who look like Gollum?
People who should have gone to Specsavers.
How about best Ben Kingsley look like? Is it people whose nickname was Goosey Goosey?
Is it famous Mahatmas?
One of the things Gandhi is famous for, and he used to do this to sort of prove that his celibacy, prove his self-control, that he could resist temptation. He would sleep with virgins, 16-year-old girls, every night. And he would sleep with one so he could prove that he could resist temptation. Every morning he'd come out and go, oh, failed again. But, still, I'll have another crack at it tonight.
OK, next person on the poll.
As far as the eye can see, a press of excited youngsters from all over the region are on hand for the return of Elvis Presley to Tupelo, Mississippi, the town where he was born. Mr. Teenager is on his way to attaining a popularity unparalleled in theater history. Elvis is never too busy to oblige his young admirers.
So Elvis and Gandhi, what might they have in common?
Nice shot, isn't it? People currently flying spaceships with Shergar.
People my dad thinks are gay.
Have they both starred in Jailhouse Rock?
Gandhi, I don't think was in Jailhouse Rock. I'd have to check.
Was he ever put away?
Was he ever put away?
He maybe was.
Yeah, but they didn't make a film of it where he danced.
Is it people whose nickname was the pelvis?
Again, not so much with the Gandhi on that one. Next person.
He was voted top entertainer in the Channel Islands a couple of seasons ago. You've seen him on Seaside Special, live from the Palladium. Please welcome Shane Ritchie.
What is he thinking?
Shane Ritchie there. What poll do you think he might have appeared on with Elvis and Gandhi?
They've all shagged a Nolan.
Is that photo of Shane Ritchie taken from a Spot the Bee competition?
They start out as redcoats, all of them.
Do they like a good curry?
Next clip. That looks bad, but Prince Charles did get his own back.
Is it people who are dead but
Yes.
people think are alive?
Yes.
Shane Ritchie, if you're watching, don't panic. You are still alive. You're clinging on.
I know what it is.
Oh.
Have they all, apart from Gandhi...
This is where I think it's going to fall down, but let's hear the rest of it.
Is it something to do with weight loss? Up and down?
No.
Yo-yo dieting, definitely.
It's not, definitely. It isn't. It isn't June. Next person.
You're frightened. No, but you come from out of the blue.
No, I told you where I
trying to-
come from. I come from God. My name is Jesus. And I come from God.
Now, go on, get off, go on, leave us alone. You loony, you nutcase. You ought to be locked up.
That was Jesus, the famous caveman.
Is that the ZZ Top Acting Society?
Is it people you'd like to meet or have a chat with, or...
Oh, Shane Ritchie's in there.
Well, yeah, I know.
You're along exactly the right lines.
Is it people you'd like to have round for dinner?
Yes.
Yes, it is, yes.
They all appeared on a poll of the person Britons would most like to have round to dinner. Princess Diana was top of the list. We all remember where we were when we heard the tragic news. I was in Kensington Park thinking, you know what this place needs? Another fountain. So at the end of that round, it is 5 points for Dave's team and 6 points to Sean's team. And the winner is the name of our final round. I'm going to give the teams a series of opinion polls, and it's up to them to buzz in and tell me who or what they think came top. Here is your first one. Cosmetic operation women would most like to give their partners.
Is it, you know, when men go to the toilet and when they've finished having a wee, they give it a shake and it goes all over the board, and women hate that, don't they? It goes everywhere and all that. There should be a cosmetic operation where you take some cells from up your nose and implant them in the end of your penis, so that when you're finished, it goes...
I imagine with a lot of women, it's just the entire front. I'd like him to have a completely new front.
Commitment enlargement.
Women said the cosmetic operation they would most like to give their partners is nothing. This is from a survey from UK TV Style Gardens from March 2003. Biggest British garden pest.
Is it a pylon? Now, this thing happened in Charlie last week. A couple moved into this new house and they had a pylon at the bottom of the garden, right? And he's out doing a bit of digging and she's out doing a bit of digging and he put his hand on the pylon because he got some dog shit on his shoe. So he's on the pylon like that. She thinks that electricity's got him. She whacks him with a spade like that. Just get on. Shattered.
Is it Darren Day with a bottle of Pimm's and Sun Lounger?
Is it slugs and snails?
You're right.
Oh.
Yes, Britain's biggest garden pest is slugs, although I take their threats with a pinch of salt. OK, this is from an international survey carried out by the New Scientist magazine, October 2003. Greatest source of human happiness. Oh.
I'm never happier than when I drive past some sort of Burberry-clad tow rag emptying out his pockets onto the bonnet of a squad car. That always cheers me up.
Is it Dennis Norden's 10th laughter file?
Taking the piss out of German and French tourists. I love that. You know, when they've got hired a car and you go, oh, it's quite easy, yeah? One yellow line down the side of the road, that's parking for 1 hour. 2 hours, help yourself, mate, yeah, crack on, yeah.
Is it laughing?
Children.
Sky Plus. Is it finding a tenner in an old pair of jeans?
No, in fact, the greatest source of human happiness is marriage. Apparently that's what came top of the survey. Well, that sound tells me that it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean's team have 8 points and Dave's team have 8 points. It's a dead heat. Everyone's a winner. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, the Renaissance man, Lawrence Llewellyn-Bowen, the Renaissance woman, Mel Gedroyd, and their captain, Dave Spikey. And facing them tonight, from Coronation Street, Deborah Stevenson. From California, IA, Scott Capurro. And their captain, Sean Locke. Now, warmly welcome your host, Jimmy Carr.
Welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, a staggering 315 entries in America's Wexford Dictionary are misspelled? What a bunch of Wuckfits. 2% of British women describe themselves as sexy. Yeah, it's about right. 13% of men have spent a night in jail. Coincidentally, 13% of men have been made love to on a bunk bed to the sound of a harmonica. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what they've been talking about this week. It's our panellists' job to guess the nation's top 5 most popular talking points. Dave, your team to go first. What do you think the nation have been talking about this week?
Is it the identity card bollocks scheme?
ID scheme bollocks, yes.
It's an immediate reaction originally to combat terrorism, and because that's going to work, isn't it, obviously? If you need an ID card, it's going to wipe it out completely. Yeah. A suicide bomber leaving home, locking the front door. Don't know why he's locking it, to be honest with you. So, have I got everything? Semtex, got the detonator, right? Got the map, got the car keys. Oh, shit, the identity card. the way you get one is to go and prove your identity like that and you take a passport or a birth certificate.
Yeah.
The two most regularly forged documents in the world.
I think it must be something nice and simple. Everyone should have a catchphrase. You know, it's just like, it's only me. Come in, Mr. Enfield. You know? Everyone has a little Tim Henman. Out. Yes, you're in. So, what would your catchphrase be?
I think I've almost sort of got one. I say well done you an awful lot.
Well
so I
done
catch
you.
myself going, well done you.
Yeah.
I don't quite know why.
Slightly patronising that, isn't
Yeah, a
it?
little bit, yeah.
Well done you. Off you pop. Yeah.
You've noticed that, Sean? Well done.
Thank you.
OK, should we have a look and see if ID cards were one of the top 5 most talked about things this week? Yes, they were. They were the most talked about things. Sean, over to you. What do you think the nation has been talking about this week?
Well, I think people are getting very excited about the Live 8 concerts in Hyde Park. I think people are getting very excited. If anyone's lucky enough to have tickets for it, don't go to the toilet when Dido's on, because there'll be massive queues. But the thing I didn't know was that there's those gigs going all over the world, but all the African artists are doing this special gig in Cornwall. I thought, there's a lot of African people in this country. I don't think one of them lives in frigging Cornwall. And I'd like to see the instructions they get. You get to Heathrow, come out of the airport, turn left, and just keep going for about 7 hours. Don't get stuck behind a caravan, you'll never make it. Bob Geldof said, he said, I'm not putting African artists on the bill in Hyde Park, because I think people will switch off. And I think it shows he's got a very low opinion of us. What does he think? Like, an African artist comes on, I go, oh, bollocks, it's an African, like that. Watch ITV, world's maddest waiters on ITV. I'm not watching that.
It's really odd, though, how saving the world makes you look like hell, because he looks terrible. Doesn't he?
Yeah.
You'd think, you know, growing green grass and saving starving people would make you look pretty or better or something. But the more he saves the world, the more he looks like Satan.
The G8 protests start next week. And basically, G8 protests are like Christmas for anarchists, aren't they? That's when they get really, whoo-hey! Yeah, we chuck stuff at the police, whoo-hey! They get very excited about that. That's all going to start next week.
So is that different to Live 8, G8?
Yeah.
Shit, I've got tickets for that.
What do you think, Deborah? Are you going to go?
No, I'm not going to go. I will have it on if I'm allowed. Because
What do you mean if you're allowed?
well, usually I'm not allowed to put anything that I want on. It's got to be Thomas the Tank Engine or...
Is your partner a bit slow?
It's 2.5.
Well, let's have a look and see if Live 8 is one of the most talked about things this week.
Yeah.
One of the highlights of the Live 8 concert is set to be Sting singing Every Breath You Take, a song originally written about how much he misses the notorious B.I.G. With such an impressive musical lineup, it is easy to lose sight of what the concert's really about: starving Africans. It is a serious problem. But then again, they don't get our winters. Dave, over to you. What else have people been talking about this week?
I was going to say, on a musical theme again, I think people probably were talking quite a lot about Glastonbury.
I want to know why everybody I know that lives in Glastonbury calls it Glastonbury, and everybody who doesn't live in Glastonbury who goes there calls it Glastonbury.
Because they're not as posh?
Perhaps. I'm beginning to think that might be the reason.
Don't some people call it Glastonbury?
What, you mean the staff?
Yeah, the staff, yeah.
They're sweeping the fields.
Should we have a look and see whether Glastonbury is one of the most talked about things?
Let's... Oh, yes.
Yes, it was. Glastonbury was the second most talked about thing this week. Kate Moss almost got E. coli and dysentery from the disgusting toilets. That was before she left Pete Doherty's flat and went to the festival. Sean, over to you. What else have people been talking about?
There was a big thing in the papers, wasn't there, about the Diana, some new book about Diana's come out.
The woman who's written the book was Diana's astrologist, right?
No, I'm sorry, guys, she wasn't an astrologer, she was an energy healer.
Yes.
Is that an electrician?
Let's see if that was one of the most talked about things. Yes, it was the 5th most talked about thing this week. Just think, though, if Diana hadn't died, we wouldn't have that beautiful fountain in Kensington Gardens. And Paris wouldn't have that beautiful slow down sign. Right, now you've got one more to get. Fingers on buzzers.
Is it the celebrations of the Battle of Trafalgar? And they had a big flotilla, armada type thing in the Solent. The thing about it, I suppose, the thing that everyone noticed was that to not offend the French, they decided, rather than have it between the English and the French, they had the blue team and the red team. The idea was that so they don't offend the French. No. And I think it's a wasted opportunity to offend them. Wonderful opportunity to offend them. Because the French, they like being offended. All their facial muscles are designed to be offended.
When the battle finished, half of our boats came back with 50 cases of Stella, didn't they?
Well, I can tell you that the Battle of Trafalgar was not one of the most talked about things. It was actually the 7th most talked about thing this week. This week saw the reenactment of the Battle of Trafalgar to celebrate its 200-year anniversary. The reenactment wasn't a total success, and I'm sad to report the French have taken Plymouth.
Well, I reckon it could be Big Brother. What does anyone else think?
I don't know. I've been a bit busy this week, smashing myself in the head with an iron. So I didn't get a chance to catch most of it. No, I lie, actually. I've been entrapped by it this week because it's got very, very, very tetchy, hasn't it?
But they don't show enough. They show those two, that straight couple in bed rolling around under that duvet, but you don't get to see, you just see them like, you see lumps moving up and down.
No, there was more detail.
Oh, really?
There was an elbow going.
Oh, right. Is that what that was?
Yeah. I was watching very closely indeed.
It's like the porn you get in an Orkney's hotel, isn't it? Porn channel, just an elbow coming out of a duvet. £7.99 for this.
I don't understand why everyone seems to fancy Maxwell so much. He's got no top lip.
Yeah.
He's kind of...
Right, shall we have a look and see whether Big Brother was one of the most talked about things this week? Yes, well done. Yes, it was. It's all heating up in the Big Brother house. Saskia and Maxwell were both up for eviction this week. I'm not surprised. They behave like they're the new Posh and Becks. In fact, they're the new Stuart and Michelle. Remember them? They were the new Paul and Helen. Right, well, that's the end of that round. I can tell you that Dave's team have 2 points and Sean's have 3 points. The next round is called The Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. This is from a Harris poll, August 1999. 13% of Americans are afraid of what?
Their own shadow. Because it'll be massive, won't it? Jesus, what's... Oh, it's me.
Have you been to America?
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you like it?
No.
But no, I think Americans are really afraid of...
If you can't say it, that's fine.
Yeah.
Is it making love to a woman, Scott?
Yeah. Is it?
You know... I have, you know, I've been with a woman.
Yeah, well, I've done loads of blokes. Oh, hang on.
All right.
I think what you're trying to say is that 13% of Americans are afraid of Bush.
Yeah.
I think you're afraid of going for a walk. Well, they drive everywhere. The only time you see an American out of his car is he's chasing a donut going down a hill. That's
You know, this is feeling very anti-American to me, this whole part of this.
Scott,
I have something to say.
Scott, think of it as friendly fire.
All right.
You were close with Bush, you were close with going for a walk.
Going for a walk with the president.
The answer is 13% of Americans are afraid of being alone in a forest. The other 87% are happily holed up in a log cabin with an M16 waiting for the federal government to fall. OK, only 7% of builders regularly what?
Pull the pants up.
Only 7% of builders regularly shout, "Oi, darling, I'd like to get to know you as a person."
To you.
Or say, stuff me, I finished a week early, I'll give you £2 back. It's not going to happen. Is it fall off ladders? Because they're thick as shit, aren't they? Some of them. No, there should be a sign at the top of the ladder that says stop. Because
it's kind of refreshment related.
Come back from lunch.
Turn up sober.
Only 7% of builders regularly take tea breaks.
Oh,
most prefer to add all their tea breaks together and turn up 2 weeks late. This is from a Police Review magazine survey from May 2005. 80% of British police want a what?
Slap.
I don't know. Friend? But I don't know anybody who's got a friend who's a policeman.
I've got an undercover friend. A friend who's an undercover policeman.
Who is he?
Well,
What's
he was.
What's he called?
I can't say because
No, what's he called?
He's undercover.
No, but tell us his name.
Compton.
Compton. Mr. Compton. What's it?
No,
Whereabouts?
that's his first name. He's really cool as well. I shouldn't talk too much about him because
He's called Compton?
Yeah, Compton.
Because he's now kicking the telly, going, shut up! He's
really
in a
cool
crack
as
den.
well.
He's in a crack den. They're watching this, and he's going, but then they go, you're Compton.
Sorry,
what are you doing? No! No, I actually got a picture of him here. There we go.
I've suddenly remembered. I've got a relation who's a copper, but he's a mounted copper in Canada.
What, you mean
Really?
stuff?
Yes.
I think I know him.
He's a mounted. Sorry, I just got that. Sorry.
OK, 80% of British police want a what?
They want a bigger truncheon.
It's sort of, you're along the right lines. A gun?
A gun.
Yeah, I'll give you that. It's a stun gun.
Is it?
Yeah. OK, 62% of British men don't know their partner's what?
A man.
Maybe they don't know their partner's eye colour. That's a hard one to remember.
I'm just trying to remember if my girlfriend's got eyes.
I'd imagine no. Pin number.
No, I'll give you a clue. Yeah, pin number, you're very close.
Partner's...
Phone number. Mobile phone number.
Correct.
Oh, damn.
Yeah, 62% of British men don't know their partner's mobile telephone number. I don't need to know my girlfriend's mobile number. She rings me every 6 minutes. Yes, I still love you.
Blind bitch.
So, at the end of that round, it's 4 points to Dave's team and 5 points to Sean's team. It's time now for the League of Nations. This round is all about comparing us Brits to the rest of the world. I'll give each team a statistic relating to another country. All they have to do is guess if Britain came higher or lower in the same survey. Dave, it's your team to go first. Have a look at this.
You had a reputation for knocking over with a lot of girls.
Screwing.
Yeah. Yeah. And, to put it delicately, yes.
Terry, I like screwing, all right?
Oh. All right. So what do you do with your time these days?
Screw.
I see. Ladies and gentlemen, George Best.
That was, of course, the greatest living Irishman, Terry Wogan, interviewing George Best to illustrate the Irish. And my question is, the Irish spend 21 minutes on foreplay. Do Britain spend more or less time than that?
I just have a bit confused. When does foreplay start? When do you start the stopwatch? When officially does it start?
I think starting the stopwatch often ruins the mood.
Yes. Depends whether it includes my 15 minutes of begging. Really, pleading. No,
Does
it's a
that
different one.
include getting your credit card checked and everything? Because
I thought the Irish take 21 minutes because, well, you can't rush a Guinness, can you? And,
They also love the crack.
it's got to be less, do you think?
I think it might.
21 minutes?
Yeah,
That's a long time. That's 40 minutes a month.
So what do you think, Dave? What are you going to go for?
Less.
Well, in fact, the Brits not only spend more time than the Irish, but also more time than any other nation. We spend an incredible 23 minutes on foreplay. We're clearly too emotionally repressed to ask for sex, so we keep beating around the bush. What nation do you think spend the least amount of time?
Swiss.
The Swiss.
I bet they timed it beautifully, though, didn't they?
The Americans, one yank and they're off.
Well, in fact, the population of Thailand came bottom of the poll, spending just 11.5 minutes on foreplay. Me love you long time, indeed. Sean, here's your clip.
Security and prosperity of America are at stake. I actually did vote for the 87 billion. It is a choice.
Well, Sean, that was a clip of President Bush boring a child to tears in the crowd at the White House last year. My question is, 23% of American children dream of being their country's leader. Do you think a higher or lower percentage of UK kids dream of being the Prime Minister?
Well, I don't know. I'm assuming in America they don't have the same type of careers officers you have in this country. If you only see a careers officer in this country and you say something like, yeah, I'll be Prime Minister, they go, you know, there are new Tesco's up down the road there, yeah. Taking on all sorts. But the thing about... I don't think they really think this through, kids, because, I mean, I wouldn't want to be Prime Minister, because he's got 4 houses. It's a nightmare, isn't it? Because you're at Chequers, going for a swim, and you're going, oh, I left me goggles at number 10. I know it doesn't sound that bad when I say it out loud.
I think Sherry Blair has turned off a lot of kids about wanting to be Prime Minister.
I don't think you'd have to keep his wife.
Oh. I mean, if you were Prime Minister, you'd think he'd find a hot wife. He can have any women he wants, and he gets stuck with a cartoon character face.
Yeah, the Prime Minister can get any woman he wants.
He can.
All the fine poontang of the Prime Minister.
You have to see him driving down the street and go, hey, guess who I am? Get in the back.
I mean, he...
I'm the Prime Minister, ladies.
Yeah.
But back to the question. Do a higher or lower percentage of UK kids want to be the Prime Minister?
I'd say it's lower.
Well, you are right. Only 8% of kids dream of being Prime Minister. The percentage was much higher in America, primarily because of the American dream. Now, America, where any humble son of a billionaire can one day get his daddy's old job. So at the end of that round, it's 5 points to Dave's team and 6 points to Sean's team. And the winner is the name of our final round. I'm going to give the teams a series of opinion polls and surveys. It's up to them to buzz in and tell me who or what they think came top. Here's your first one. Best way to avoid talking to someone on a plane?
As soon as the flight starts, ask them if they have a personal relationship with Jesus.
Or what I always do is play an imaginary trombone. Or just put a blanket over your head and go.
Just look them in the eye and say, shut the fuck up.
If you start reading, they leave you alone, usually.
That's the right answer.
Yeah.
Yes, the best way to avoid talking to someone on a plane is reading. I think something light is normally best, maybe an Al-Qaeda pamphlet. This is from a survey featured in The Observer from December 2004. Kids' favourite thing in the world?
Is it an uncle with Tourette's?
I think it could be teachers with suggestive names, I think. I think it is, because when I was a kid in high school, our principal's name was Dildar Treadway. I got a lot of mileage out of that.
Crying in the pub. The kid in the pub the other day, crying. I went over and I said, have you smacked this child? And she said, no. And I said, why not?
Kids' favourite thing in the world is fame. Andy Warhol, of course, said everyone would be famous for 15 minutes. Girls allowed have cheated by adding all their 15 minutes together. This one's from a survey by Orange from June 2003. A fictional character women would most like to meet.
Is it Big Dick Shagger? From When Good Nuns Go Bad.
You've never seen a porno, have you, Dave? That's world class.
Is it Dr. Alan Lovesoftly from the Mills and Boon novel Hospital of Love?
Oh, I've read that one.
It's lovely, isn't it?
Every fireball from Alan's Rigid Cannon. It's that one, isn't it? Yeah. Exploded like molten lava inside Pamela's fluttering love purse.
I reckon Mr. Darcy.
You're right.
Thank you very much.
Well done, Lawrence.
Yes, the fictional character women would most like to meet is Mr. Darcy. We know him best from the TV series Pride and Prejudice, which has also been made into a book. Footballers' most common superstition.
Tie your shoelaces together. That's quite unlucky.
Yeah. Is it don't eat a whole chicken just before the game?
Oh, I know.
With all the trimmings.
Don't pee into a test tube just before the game.
Two in a bed, nothing said. Add one more, you're on page 4. I don't know. Superstition.
You're along the right lines with sex.
Don't have sex before the game.
Correct.
Oh, well done.
Yes, footballers' most common superstition is no sex before the big game. This is a long tradition thought to have been started by Peter Beardsley's wife.
No!
Well, that sound tells me that it's the end of the round and the end of this evening's competition. The final scores are as follows. Dave's team have 8 points. Sean's team have 8 points. It's a dead heat. Everyone's a winner. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you at home for watching. That's all from us. Good night.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats, direct from Glasgow, Frankie Boyle. Funny man, Alan Carr. And their captain, Dave Spikey. And facing them tonight, from the Friday Night Project, Rob Rouse. Lovable scamp, Ian Lee. And their captain, Sean Locke. Now, go crazy for your host, Jimmy Carr.
Good evening and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 1 in 20 people think that Conan the Barbarian is a real character? Does Professor Dumbledore not teach them anything? 1 in 10 women in the UK has a sexually transmitted disease. I like those odds. And 1 in 5 drivers don't understand road signs. This means you've cut me up. Let's get started. We're kicking off with the What's the Poll round. I'm going to show you 5 people who are all popular answers on the same poll. All our panellists have to do is tell me, what's the poll? OK, here is your first clip.
And I don't want to be emotional, but it's one of the greatest moments in my life.
That was very much the high point of Nelson Mandela's career there, meeting the Spice Girls. What poll do you think Nelson Mandela might have appeared on?
Is it people who still don't see the funny side of the show Porridge?
Sadly, no.
Is it people who've never appeared on Through the Keyhole?
So, is it people who've inspired classic wrestling moves?
Is it a poll of people you can't really take the piss out of?
He's got a funny voice, though. We can laugh at that, can't we?
Well, you can, but if you've got any dignity or self-respect, you wouldn't.
He's got a funny voice, though, hasn't he? Is it people who used to have the first name free?
Is it people whose names are rhyming slang for drinks? Nelson Mandela, Pint of Stella.
Isn't it quicker to just say Pint of Stella? Well, I said Nelson Mandela, the bloke served someone else, isn't he?
Is it people, if they had extensions, they'd look like a really old Beyonce?
Yeah, it is, yeah.
Yeah. 1 point.
OK, let's have a look at the next person.
Jesus loves us. I can feel it in the soles of my feet, flowing up through my spine, into my heart, all through my veins, surging through my blood. The love of Jesus is quivering at my fingertips like electricity. Who will share it with me? Who wants to feel the love of Jesus? Yes. Yes. Yes.
No. Yes. Hugh Grant there, playing a Scottish evangelist in A Very Peculiar Practice from 1986. So, Nelson Mandela and Hugh Grant, what have they got in common? What poll might they have appeared on?
Is it a poll of people who've met Jerry Halliwell but had no idea who she was?
Is it famous BMW drivers? Because I know Nelson, he bought one because he wanted the extra leg room, and you got one for the extra headroom.
Has Hugh Grant got a lot of community centres named after him? Is that a possibility? Am I close? I mean, we're working here. You're not even helping us.
You're kind of... We've touched along the right lines, but I'll show you someone else.
Hello, Moira. Hello.
Well done.
Well, thank you.
Indeed, yes.
Well, I expect you want to be on your homeward journey now.
Oh,
It's straight through here. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. And I think it's time for us to go as well. Hope you'll join us again next week for some more adventures. Until then...
That was Moira Stewart hosting the adventure game from 1980. Moira Stewart, Hugh Grant and Nelson Mandela. What poll do you think they might have appeared on?
Is it people who can remember exactly where they were when Nelson Mandela was released from prison?
Does she still read the news, Moira Stewart? Because I quite miss her.
She gets a paper some days, yeah.
She's a proper newsreader, though, isn't she? She's a journalist.
Yeah.
Right, as opposed to Kaplinsky. I hate... Natasha Kaplinsky, to me, looks like a businessman's wife, like a journalist. You know, I want my news read by someone who, if they entered a ballroom dancing competition, would definitely lose.
Kaplinsky also sounds like a kind of maverick New York cop that doesn't play by the rules to me.
Kaplinsky, put those donuts down and solve the case!
Is it something to do with, like, mumbling? Because she mumbled, hello, I'm Moira Stewart. And he's like, hello, I'm English, and then Nelson sounds a bit as if he's still behind the brick wall.
I would say no. You're along the right lines there, but I'll show you another one.
Why is it taking so long? Why haven't you been back here to...
Oh, where were you 12 years ago? What were you doing?
School. At school, yeah.
At school. I've been working my ass off and you're at school. Terrific. You question me why I wasn't here? I've been all over the world working my ass off and you've done nothing. I'm underwriting you. Do you know that?
Oh. Sean Connery there getting grumpy with a journalist at a film premiere. At 74, Sean Connery now has a whole new range of gadgets. Pay attention, Bond. This isn't a normal bath. You can walk right in.
I like the fact that Sean Connery couldn't pronounce the word arse. I think he's got a great voice for swearing. Push flaps.
He does have an incredible ability with accent, Sean Connery. The end of... is it the end of Highlander 2? A very popular film, I'm sure. When he comes in at the end and says, hello, my name is Juan Carlos from Spain. No.
Is it people who look like people out of Police Academy? Nelson Mandela looks like Hightower. She looks like, it's the stick-up. And Hugh Grant's the one who makes those noises. Game over. Even though he's white and the man was black.
Sadly, no. Right, let's have a look at your final person. That's Ronan Keating there on Ireland's Late Late Show, presumably doing some sort of gay exchange ad.
Is it to do with accents? They've all got a really quite an attractive-ish accent that, you know...
Moira?
Yeah, Moira. Yeah.
Good night. Well, wearing a gimp mask. Good night.
You were going to eat your words, Alan Carr, because Dave Spikey, you're absolutely right.
Oh.
They've all appeared on a survey of people with the most pleasant voices. Surprising how many people in the top 10 had regional accents. Of course, I don't have an accent. This is just how things sound when they're pronounced properly. So, at the end of that round, it's 0 points to Sean, Rob and Ian and 1 point to Dave, Frankie and Alan. The next round is called The Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. Here's your first question. This is from an age concern study from January. 50% of the over 65s don't have a what?
Is it that 50% of over 65s don't have a real hip?
Is it 50% of over 65s don't have a clue why they went to the cupboard in the first place?
Is it 50% of over 65s don't have a chance against a panther?
Is it 50% of over 65s don't have a waist? As they get older, all men especially, the waist just get higher and higher, and the belt gets, the pants just get higher. 103, belt there, zip there. Hello, I'm 103.
And The only people I know, old people, they have trays over the bath. So they can organise the loofah and the soap, and it's all there. And then they need an emergency. There it is.
People still use loofahs. That's great, isn't it? That's an over 65 thing, a loofah, isn't it?
No, it's not. It cleans your back.
I know, they're great.
It's a young man's thing, I would have thought, the loofah, surely, isn't it?
Oh, yeah,
No.
it's a young man's thing. Yeah. A lot of the kids watching will be thinking, yeah, loofahs, yeah.
What is a loofah? What's a loofah?
Do you want to know?
That's a bloody
'Cause
funny
I
name.
know, because the worst Christmas present I ever got was a grow-your-own loofah kit.
Oh. That is quite bad as a gift.
Whereabouts do loofahs live in the wild, then?
Underwater. No, they don't. They grow on trees.
Is it like a sea cucumber when it's alive?
No, it grows on land. It grows on land. It's a vegetable.
And surely it's like a sponge and grows underwater, isn't it?
No, that's what I thought.
I disagree
it was.
with you.
Yeah, but you don't know fucking everything, do you?
Well, I think there should be a gardener special on loofahs then, if that's the case.
That's loofahs grow on trees. They're like a gourd. They're like a gourd.
A gourd?
What's a gourd?
I can't believe I'm working with these botanical ignoramuses.
I've never seen a loofah tree. If there were loofah trees...
Of course you haven't seen...
Well, because they don't exist, that's why. If there were loofah trees, we'd know about them. They sound brilliant.
The reason you haven't seen one is because old people have taken them. I'll give you a clue. It's sort of about companionship.
Don't have a partner.
Is it a best friend?
Best friend is the right answer. This is from a survey featured in the Daily Mail, March 2005. 86% of bosses feel that what is a disadvantage in business?
Is it 86% of bosses feel that speaking in riddles is a disadvantage in business? My first is in piano, but not in canoe. Would you like to invest in my shipping company, Jimmy?
Yes, I would.
It is in canoe, isn't it? It's like the look on your face when you went...
Is it incontinence? I know. Is it giving your firm one of them stupid punny names? That's a disadvantage. You know, like Specs in the City.
I saw one. They did haircuts and they had sunbeds, and it was called Tanzania.
The cleverest one's near the Tate Modern. Tate Modern. Have you seen it? That's clever, because that's like French. It's not funny, but it's clever, isn't it?
I think that would be an advantage in business because people are morons.
There's a great one in Bath, and it's a coffee shop, and they've got it slightly wrong because it's called Rhythm and Beans. If it was an off licence, Rhythm and Booze, yeah, that's fine. But Rhythm and Beans, and you see people looking at it going.
There's a hairdresser near us, and the girl's called Valerie, and full march because it's called Val does a.
I can give you a clue.
Go on then.
It's you're sort of along the right lines when you said it was about how people speak.
Is it having a working class voice?
That's exactly the right answer. Yes, 86% of bosses feel that a working class accent is a disadvantage in business. I've done all right. Strike a light. OK, 25% of Brits find what helps them nod off?
Listening to Clanad on heroin?
Marzipan. My mum, who was dyslexic, put marzipan on our Christmas cake once.
A Bergerac box set.
Is it listening to your partner tell you about their day at work?
Is it nitrous oxide anaesthesia? That'll help you know. Because I had anaesthesia, and you know when they say they give you the thing, the injection and the anaesthesia, and they go like count backwards from 10, and you go 10, 9, 8, and then I heard somebody go, whoops, you don't want that, do you? You don't like your... What do you mean?
I shall tell you. 25% of Brits find that a bath helps them nod off.
Oh.
It is very dangerous to fall asleep in the bath. I keep myself awake by constantly making toast. So at the end of that round, it's 3 points for Sean's team and 5 points for Dave's team. Our next round is word association. We've polled the nation and asked people to give us the word or phrase that popped into their heads when we said the following things. OK, everyone, here's your first clip.
And here comes Alan Collier from Doncaster. His hobbies include Taekwondo, which is a form of the martial arts, a bit like karate. You do not argue with Alan Collier.
That was Alan Collier, winner of the 1980 Yorkshire Disco Dance Championships. What I'm looking for is the top 3 things the British public said when we said the 1980s.
Can I just say, isn't television shit nowadays? If that was on every channel, 24 hours a day, I'd have square eyes.
I'd like to have him in a snow shaker. just constantly dancing like that.
What must his life have been like in Yorkshire? The locals must have constantly been laying siege to his house like the end of Frankenstein or something. Kill the disco dancer.
He's just great, isn't he, Alan Collier?
Can we watch it again?
That's all right. Have another look.
And here comes Alan Collier from Doncaster. You do not argue with Alan Collier.
Not only do you not argue with Alan Collier, you don't talk to him.
Had he just come from the pits when he dressed like that? Do you reckon he talked like that? And he was like, fucking hell, zip.
Is this why they started closing down the mines? Because this is what they were getting up to.
Top 3 answers that the public most associated with the 1980s.
Orgies. Thatcher.
Yes, it is. Second most commonly associated phrase with the word or phrase with the 1980s.
Aha!
Do you mean the band, or have you just thought of something brilliant?
The band. Or, as they're known in more curious countries, aha!
I can't decide if it's Fame the Musical or the Iranian embassy siege.
You were quite close with Fame.
Leroy.
Leg warmers.
Leg warmers. Yes, it was.
Wow.
You've still got to get the most commonly associated word with the 1980s.
The mullet. The mullets were big, weren't they?
I am going to give you that. Yes, the phrase most associated with the 1980s was bad hair. OK, here's your next one. That was, of course, the world-famous water-skiing monkeys of Japan to illustrate the word animals. Fingers on buzzers, what word or phrase did the nation most associate with animals?
You think they would have put those monkeys on those inflatable bananas? It would have looked more...
I think this is the new Neverland. Jackson's latest project.
The thing is, they wouldn't do it if they didn't like it.
Exactly.
They love it.
Yeah.
They've got the option to bail out and have a swim.
Well, since the PG Tips work dried up, you know, they're all working as reps now. I just don't know how a monkey is driving a speedboat. Because you can't trust a monkey. You can train it, you can never trust it.
Yeah.
You speak from bitter experience,
Yes,
I imagine.
I do.
If they can send a monkey into space, surely this is nothing. Surely this is a step down for the boys.
It's just the monkeys at NASA pissing about on the day off.
They're having a bit of me time.
When we said animals, what do you think popped into the British public's minds?
Shagging. When I was a kid, dogs on our street, you couldn't go out in the street. They were just doing it, weren't they? Just pushing each other up and down the street. My mum told me they were dancing.
That story is both quaint and disgusting.
It is. And very unsettling, because the first school disco I went to, I got expelled. Super furry.
The number one answer was fur. OK, what other word would you associate with animals?
Shit.
You're absolutely right.
That never happened on Family Fortunes, did it?
What other word would you associate with animals? What are they? They're lovely.
Adorable.
Adorable is along the right line.
Lovable.
Friendly.
Cute. Cuddly.
Cute. Who said cute? You were right. So at the end of that round, I can tell you that Sean's team have 6 points and Dave's team have 11 points. And the winner is the name of our final round. I'm going to give the teams a series of opinion polls, and it's up to them to buzz in and tell me who or what they think came top. Here is your first one. This is taken from a survey featured in The Independent, November 2004. The most annoying thing about a work colleague.
They're always going on about their fucking Blackberries. Who cares? It's just a little bit of plastic that does emails. I'm not bothered about it.
Yeah, well, the thing is, I get my emails anywhere I go, so it's...
Is it sometimes that you do a panel show and the person in the middle refuses to wear trousers? You smile or you like, Sean, like that's abuse.
You used to work in a call centre, didn't you, remember?
Barclay card lost and stolen.
He's not lost it, has he?
Still got it.
Was there no annoying habits there?
Yes, they had this one day we had to come in as a sports theme and no one could be bothered and we're going, who's going to fall for this shit? Just as our supervisor came round dressed as a jockey. And then you get 2 swear words said to you throughout the call. You have every right legally to terminate the call. So I used to egg them on. Can you speak up, you fat bitch?
OK, most annoying thing about a work colleague?
Or when they bring a baby in, when they just had a baby. And they bring a baby, I've got a baby. So what? I'm trying to work. I don't want to look at a baby. It's horrible. It's ugly. I know, we're going to have a look. Touch my baby. They don't say that,
There's always someone as well at work who comes in when they've got a day off. You know what I mean? Just to show what they look like in their jeans.
Most annoying thing about a work colleague, it's hygiene related.
BO, body odour.
Correct. Yes, the most annoying thing about a work colleague is body odour. I imagine it's particularly bad if you work in a sweatshop. OK, this is from a survey featured in The Times, July 2004. Greatest British Olympian.
Is it that one with the tash? Fatima Whitbread.
Is it Jeff Capes, the world's strongest man, and officially he still is, but he's so strong he's not allowed to enter anymore.
Do you know the thing about Jeff Capes, really interesting thing about him, is he keeps budgies. And you just imagine all that strength, and but he can pick up a little budgie. And then go...
He's had a checkered history, though, to be fair, Jeff. He used to work at the Yellow Pages factory, but he got sacked for destroying stock.
Why do they put that world's strongest man thing on at Christmas?
Fucking brilliant.
Well, it is, isn't it? It's load of shit, and it man pulling a mobile home, and it from there to there. Why do they have it on?
A man lifting big, round stone balls, and they get heavier, and he's got to put them up on a higher thing each time. That, to me, is genius.
No, they're not strong, they're just fat. Aren't they? They're just obese, and they should be the world's fattest That's what they should say.
This is Stephen Redgrave.
Steve Redgrave is number 2.
Is it Sebastian Coe?
Yes, it is.
Oh,
Sebastian Coe.
well done.
This one's from a YouGov survey from April this year. Top female sexual fantasy. Ian Lee.
Is it?
Yeah.
Well done, mate.
Apparently so. To be told they've got lovely boobs by a stranger. I don't know, a builder or something. They love it, don't they?
Is it, like, just something very simple, like maybe a phone call 3 days later?
Is it wearing a gimp mask and being pulled around on a chain like a dog? I mean, women aren't my strong point.
Top female sexual fantasy.
It's something romantic,
It's something
isn't it?
kind of nice.
Is it like roses?
I'm going to tell you, the top female sexual fantasy is sex with a regular partner. Well, ladies, I'm regular. Eat a lot of bran. Well, that sound tells me that it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means that the final scores are Sean's team have 9 points, but Dave is the winner with 13 points. Thank you to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
Out of 10 cats. With the paternity test results, Trisha Goddard. He's back. It's Lee Mack. And their captain, Dave Spikey. And facing them tonight, done rambling, it's Janet Street Porter. From Max and Patty, Patrick McGinnis. And their captain, Sean Locke. Get overly excited for your host, Jimmy Carr.
Hello and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 20% of Manchester's inner-city school kids have witnessed a violent crime? 80% ain't saying nothing till they've seen their brief. 1/3 of husbands would let their wives sleep with another man for £1 million. £1 million? For half that, I'll put on a wig and do it myself. 13% of Americans believe some parts of the moon are actually made of cheese. If you think that's scary, you don't want to know what President Bush thinks about the city of Philadelphia. Let's get started. What's the poll? That's the name of our first round. I'm going to show you 5 people who are all popular answers on the same poll. All our panellists have to do is tell me, what's the poll? Here is your first person. Jeremy Clarkson, of course. He looks a lot older than he is. Incredibly, he's gone from 0 to 60 in 45 years. What poll do you think he might have appeared on?
Ugliest men in the world you wouldn't shag even if they were left on a desert island with you.
I was just going to say that.
Can you imagine him in bed?
I'd suck him off.
Is it somebody you'd most like to hit with a cricket bat? I say cricket bat, that's my weapon of choice. Pick your own weapon, isn't it? Obviously, really.
I think it might be just something with... Jeremy Clarkson is known... He's got a very long Biffin's Bridge, hasn't he?
What's
Beg your pardon?
What's it?
Biffin's Bridge. Stand up.
Right.
Right, because you've got quite a long one. You have your trousers up.
I've got quite a long one. Thanks, Sean.
He's just pulled his trousers
Yeah.
up.
Top of your trousers.
Yeah.
Right, then get your other finger and go down. Like that. Keep going. Keep going.
Oh.
Keep going, keep going. That's back there, there. That's your Biffin's Bridge. Now, take your hand away. That's how long your Biffin's Bridge is.
Why is it called a Biffin's
It's not your
Bridge?
Biffin's Bridge.
Ladies. Let's move... OK, so Jeremy Clarkson, we're not quite sure.
The thing is, no one understands the words he's on about. If you watch it, everyone's just completely confused. He says things like, if I said to you, shit at for tango, you'd probably say excessively keen, overly keen, knocking valves. You know, and everyone just goes, no, I wouldn't. I'd say, has it got a cup holder and will it make birds touch me cock?
OK, let's have a look at the next person on the poll.
Hip-hop and rap should be open to anybody. And that's like half of my challenge, you know. I don't see... Everyone's like, you can't do this. And I'm like, well, I don't see why not. Don't strike a pose, let's not doze, Bo don't care anywhere, get that on the cover. I'm telling you, brother, take a dagger and die.
That was Victoria Aitken with her attempt at a rap career to illustrate posh people. So, Jeremy Clarkson and posh people, what poll do you think they might have appeared on?
Is it people who know how to use a bidet? No, my mum, a couple of years ago, my mum got a new bathroom in and she said to me, Dad, I've just paid £100 extra for one of them things that you wash your bottom with. And he said, you paid £100 for a flannel.
Is it people you never get tired of kicking?
The thing about posh people, I hate it when they laugh. Horribly laugh.
Do an imitation.
Ha 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 ha.
Do common people laughing then?
Good, I'll try and make you laugh.
Is it people that look or sound like Camilla Parker Bowles? He looks a bit like Camilla, doesn't he? He's got that sort of robustness.
No, I think...
I find her attractive.
Camilla Parker Bowles, you find her attractive in what way?
I'm thinking of Rod Hull.
She's nice, actually.
Have you met her?
Yes, I have. I met Prince Charles once, and he asked me, what does one do? And I explained the show, and he said, what sort of people do you have on the show? And I said, oh, you know, the husband, the wife, and the mistress.
Let's have a look at the next person.
Outside Old Trafford, the celebrations were deafening. Manchester United are Premiership champions again.
So, posh people, Jeremy Clarkson and Manchester United. What poll might they have appeared on?
Man United players are always getting done for speeding.
Yeah.
Clarkson's always going very fast. Unfortunately, not in the same direction forever. He tends to come back.
I once had an accident with a Man United player, and it was quite a bad accident. We had the airbag saved us and all that, and we were sat at the side of the road afterwards, and pretty shaken up. And I said to him, I've got a little bottle of whiskey in the glove compartment. Because he looked a bit concussed, looked really shaken. I said, have a swig of that. And he said, you haven't any. I said, no, you get it down, you need it.
Actually, talking to Man United players and speeding, do you remember when David Beckham got done for speeding? He came out with the greatest excuse I've ever heard. He said, they asked him why he was speeding, and he said, I was being followed by a photographer. Like, no, Dave, they're called speed cameras.
Is it to do with phone companies?
What do you mean by phone companies?
Well, Jeremy Clarkson does something for BT, and Man United do Vodafone.
And?
And not a goddamn clue about the last one.
And that is why you're wrong. Right, let's have a look at the next clip.
That's me, yes, fucking touch you. I'll throw you through the fucking window. Rude, vile pig. You know what I mean? Rude, vile pig. That's what all of you are. Hello? Get out of Taiwan. Yeah, we'd love to get out of Taiwan. Yes, it's full of people like you. Pig.
That was, of course, Elton John getting very angry with a Taiwanese photographer. What do you think they have in common?
I thought that was his new chat show. Elton John. There's nothing nowhere to go with him, is there?
We could do a couple of bumming jokes, I suppose.
Oh, for God's sake. Cut
That's
it
why
out.
I'm not doing it. That's why I'm not
Cut
doing
it
it.
out.
I'm not doing it.
His level of humour is so desperate.
He wasn't on a show where they eat kangaroo balls.
He actually...
To be fair to Patrick, what he said was, I said, Elton, where's the comedy in Elton? And he said, we could do that. He didn't say he was going to, or he would like to. He didn't get any pleasure. You wouldn't get any pleasure out of that, would you?
I'm saying fuck all.
Do you know what? People actually have the gall to comment about my chat show. Have a look at this, would you?
Yeah, but luckily we edit this.
Is it anything to do with loving to hate them sort of thing? Like Man United, people love to hate them. Jeremy
people,
Clarkson.
yes.
It's to do with that. You're along the right lines. I'll just show you the last bit, and I think you'll probably get it. Squeegee gangs there. A lot of people find them irritating, but at least it keeps them off the streets.
People we hate.
Who might hate them?
Motorists.
A type of motorist?
A cyclist.
Cab drivers.
Motorists.
Cab drivers, you're not far off.
White van drivers.
Correct. They all appear on a survey of the pet hates of white van drivers. To be honest, it's a very long list. It includes everything, ever. With 3 exceptions. Bacon butties, brown sauce and knockers. So at the end of that round, I can tell you that Dave, Tricia and Lee have 1 point. Sean, Janet and Patrick are yet to score. The next round is called the Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to the panellists to fill in the gaps. This is from a survey featured in Women's Own from May of this year. 93% of people who what are overweight?
Watch Tricia.
So how long have you been watching the show?
Oh, I'll tell you, I'll tell you, I do every day, me. That's my favourite. Pregnant with twins, only shared my brother's towel. That was my favourite.
Is it 93% of people who have a trough at home in the kitchen?
Is it 93% of people who eat but don't poo?
Is it 93% of people who appear on the Ocean Finance adverts are overweight? Have you seen that woman? There's large, there's extra large, and there's oh my God, it's coming towards us.
We had a guy on our show who was, I think they call him a chubby chaser. He liked really, really huge women.
A chubby chaser? Yeah. I've always had issues with that. How much chasing is actually going on?
Not a lot.
It's pretty much gotcha.
We should say that there are a lot of overweight people who are that way because they have personal problems in their life.
Ah, bollocks. Stop eating, you fat bastards.
Is it who watch too much television? Who watch?
I'll give you that, yes. 93% of people who watch more than 2.5 hours of TV a day are overweight. OK, next one. 65% of circus performers are what?
I think 65% of circus performers are covered in pie. And wearing the wrong shoes. I went to a circus in East London and about 2 years ago. It's quite funny. And one of the clowns forgot to turn his mobile off. And it went off. It took him ages to find it because they've got those massive pockets. He reached around. And the thing is, the tune on his mobile was... And he's reaching out and he got his mobile out, switched it off. And the amazing thing was the way the other clowns reacted. They went mental at him. Right? They started pouring water down his trousers. They hit him with a ladder. They really overreacted. One of them put a barrel over him and pushed him over. Total overreaction.
65% of circus performers are not to be trusted.
Did something bad happen to you at circus once?
Yeah, and I don't want to talk about it.
I've got a little puppet. Would you tell him?
You look more like a puppet, don't you? You look a bit like a ventriloquist dummy, don't you?
It's the hair, really, that gives it away. It's so neat and tidy, it's unnatural.
So 65% of circus performers are my hair looks like a dummy's. That's your guess.
Is it animals?
Oh, that's not as a joke. That is a good suggestion. I'm sorry, I'm going to give you credit there.
Sister!
That is a good suggestion.
It's a good guess, isn't it?
It's come up with a bloody good guess.
Yeah.
Don't ruin it. They're animals and they're not very entertaining generally.
The clue is it's a survey done by the Catholic Herald.
Catholics.
Correct. Yeah, 65% of circus performers are Catholic. If you are a 3-foot-tall clown married to a bearded lady living in a caravan, I'm not sure the prayers are working. This is from a survey featured in The Times from April. 77% of women believe they are what?
Correct all of the time.
Yeah.
Believe they are lucky to have a lovely husband, 2 beautiful kids, and a good butcher's round the corner.
Which century do you live in? Living in 1955 or 2005?
But come on, ladies, a good butcher.
Ladies! Don't you lady me! I've just made up with him. I don't want to start a fight with you now. I think 77% of most women think they're better off without the sad bastard they're living with.
You were very close with
Always right in an argument.
Why are they always right?
Because we're more intelligent.
A specific part of intelligence.
Intuitively.
Correct. Yes, 77% of women believe they are highly intuitive. What that actually means is 77% of men are appallingly bad liars. So at the end of that round, Dave, Tricia and Lee have 2 points. Sean, Janet and Patrick have 3 points. Our next round is face-off. Our teams have 6 well-known faces in front of them. Jesus, George W. Bush, Charlotte Church, Siegfried and Roy, the Queen and Spider-Man. We ask the British public to rank these people in a series of questions. All our teams have to do is guess who came top. Dave, we asked the public, whose diary would you most like to read? Who got the most votes?
George Bush's would be good, wouldn't it?
Yeah.
Invaded Iraq, it was nice. Had an ice cream, it was nice.
Jesus's would be good, because he died on the Friday, he rose on the Sunday, right? But it was like, because it was Easter, it was a bank holiday weekend. Now, I've had some bank holiday weekends where I've woke up in a cave and I've not claimed to be, anything happened. I'm just...
It would be great to get hold of it the week before the Last Supper, just see if he had his suspicions, you know. Tuesday, went fishing. Wednesday, made a blind man see. Took Mary up the Casbah. Judas throwing his money about.
I'd like to read the White Lion's diary in Siegfried and Roy. Got up, ate a nutter.
Which one got eaten?
Eh?
Was it Siegfried or Roy?
But he didn't get eaten, did he? He got bit.
When it happened, the majority of people in the world went,
I know one bloke who went, ah!
Whose diary would the public most like to read?
We're going with Jesus.
Sean, what do you think?
I think the Queen should be interesting because you can find out what she really thinks about her useless kids.
Does she keep a diary, do we know?
She probably doesn't need to because everything she does is in the papers.
Can we vote for the Queen then?
Sean, you fine with that?
The Queen, yeah, Queen, yeah.
Well, I can tell you the Queen got 15% of the vote. Jesus got 31% of the vote. But Charlotte Church got 38% of the vote. So Dave still gets the point there. Sean, Patrick and Janet, who would you choose to make your best man speech?
Spider-Man, not for the speech, for the entrance. Wouldn't want Jesus as your best man because the stag night would be shit, wouldn't it?
How's he going to go on with a ring?
Sean, who do you think the public would choose to do their best man speech?
Spider-Man.
I think he'd be good, Spider-Man. He'd be a better best man than an usher, you know, when you're showing people bride or groom, that's... Sorry. Where's the bride's father?
The thing with Spider-Man is, like, Spider-Man, Superman, Batman, all the fancy powers, what happened with Elephant Man? What were all that about? Get that one. He didn't even have a cape.
OK, who would you choose to do your best man speech? Dave?
We're going to go for Bush, yeah.
Well, I can tell you that George W. Bush got 10% of the vote.
10%?
Spider-Man got 28%.
We should have gone for Jesus.
But Jesus was the #1 answer, so Sean gets the points there. Yes, the top answer there was Jesus. He would, of course, tell the parable of the humble fisherman who got arseholed in Amsterdam and woke up handcuffed to a hooker. OK, Sean, who would be the best guest on Trisha?
Who's the fattest?
Okay, what happens on Trisha?
You've never seen the show?
To be fair,
I've seen a bit of it, but I was cycling past a shop at the time. It was just gone.
It's a chat show where people talk about their problems, and while we're at it,
Yeah.
what is it that you do?
I can't believe there's a row and Janet isn't involved.
I think where you go wrong with Trisha is... Sorry, when it comes on, you put, like, across the bottom what the programme's all about. Now, if it's not my daughter wants to be a stripper, it gets flicked off.
Who would be the best guest on Trisha? What do you think, Sean?
Charlotte Church.
Oh.
Why is that?
Just read the papers, my friend. It's all there.
So you've gone for Charlotte Church?
Yeah.
OK.
Yep.
Who are you going to go for?
Jesus. I never knew my father.
Queen would be pretty good.
Dysfunctional family.
Blimey.
Yeah.
That would be a series in itself.
Well, there is a rumour going around that the Queen can fire ping pong balls out of her fanny. Isn't there? If it's the Trisha show I've been watching.
OK, so you've gone for the Queen, you went for Charlotte Church. I can tell you Charlotte Church got 25% of the vote. Ooh. But the Queen was the top answer with 39% of the vote. Presumably, the headline would be, "Help me, Trisha, my son married a horse." OK, well, I can tell you at the end of that, Dave, Trisha and Lee have 4 points. Sean, Janet and Patrick have 5 points. And the winner is the name of our final round. I'm going to give the teams a series of opinion polls, and it's up to them to buzz in and tell me who or what they think came top. OK, this is from a Morgan Stanley survey, March 2004. Worst things about shopping.
Is it being recognised by adoring fans? No, it's true. I got recognised today in Dixon's. A member of staff came up to me and went, "Hey, you're that mad bloke off the telly." I went, "That's me." And he went, "No, you're that mad bloke off the telly."
Is it when you get, you know, you go, have you got a shopping list and you get things in the wrong order? Like, well, I went to Harrods once and I bought my ladder before I went to the glass department.
You know, one of the worst things is when you go to the supermarket and you go in and you see a couple straight away who you only vaguely know and dislike a little bit from a party about 6 months ago, and then you meet them on every bloody aisle. They're walking like that, and you've got to acknowledge them. You've got to someone go, yeah, beans. But you know, you get behind a woman and she's got a big trolley like that, and it comes up and she goes, £153.50, and she goes, "Oh, right, where's my purse?" You've not got your purse out, you dozy cow! Has that come as some sort of surprise to you? You've got to pay for them. What is it with them? Just have your money ready.
Queuing at the till.
Correct. This is from a Harris poll from May 2005. What men look for in a male friend?
I think it changes, doesn't it? When you're younger, it's different things. Like Dave Osborne, I used to like hanging around with him because he had his dad built him a tree house, you know, sexy mum. Now, tree house, not really that interested, and she's about 65, so... I go around this so much. Really, sorry about that, Dave, but it's true.
I think men look for ugliness, so when women meet them with their friends, they will think, he's not as bad as all that, he's got this really ugly friend.
Janet is right, I know that for a fact, and if you don't believe me, ask my best mate Jimmy, you'll back me up on that one.
As obviously what men look for in a friend.
What? A bit of banter.
Yeah,
bit of banter.
You are along the right lines.
Good sense of humour.
Correct. This is from a poll featured in the Daily Mail from March 2005. What is the world's most baffling, unexplained mystery?
Oh, that's easy. How Michael Winner gets women in bed.
He's got a stand stair lift.
How Michael Winner...
I saw an advert for stair lifts the other day, and it said, as part of to get people in to buy one, they said, and when you don't need it anymore, we'll buy it back off you.
Yeah.
Which basically means when you're dead.
Is the answer to this question, why has Robbie Williams been so successful? Will someone tell Robbie Williams that this does not constitute entertainment? Let's hear you! It's like, yeah, it's 40 quid to get in, Robbie. Any chance you could sing it?
Well, I'm not running Britain.
No, I wouldn't call it baffling. Or a mystery. Is it Loch Ness?
Yes, it is. Yes, the world's most baffling, unexplained mystery is the hunt for the Loch Ness Monster, or, as it's known in Scotland, the weather shit, we need something to bring in the touristness monster. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the game, which means the final scores are Dave's team have 5 points, but Sean is the winner with 8 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
Tonight on 8 out of 10 Cats. Streets ahead, it's Sarah Beanie. Plucky Scamp, Ian Lee. And their captain, Dave Spikey. And facing them tonight, popping back from Pop World, Simon Amstel. From the royal family, Ralph Little. And their captain, Sean Locke. Now, break it down for your host, Jimmy Carr.
Good evening and welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, 20% of people marry their first love? What, they've got Lego wives? Every day in Britain, 6 newborn babies are given to the wrong parents. I wasn't swapped at birth, and neither was my identical twin, Wong Chao Lee. The reason half of all relationships break up is bad sex. My relationship broke up because of good sex with someone else. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panellist job to guess the public's top 5 most popular talking points. I'll give you the number 1 story. It's obviously the London bombings. But what else have people been talking about this week? Sean, your team to go first?
Well, I think they've almost definitely been talking about the release of the new Harry Potter novel. Sold something like 10 million copies in an hour, and it's not just kids that read it, it's adults. I saw a bloke on the train reading it the other day, and I did think to myself, I thought, well, I wonder if when he goes home, right, for his tea, he has alphabetti spaghetti and like dinosaur-shaped chicken bites. And if he sees a woman in the pub he fancies, he just runs over and punches her in the arm.
I read it.
You read it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's very good.
Is it?
Yeah, it's very exciting. It is a kid's book, but it makes it very easy to read.
I haven't read any, and people say to me, they say like, what, you haven't read it? Like I'm the weird one. Yeah, I don't give a shit about wizards. Oh, what's that? If I see the word wizard on a page, I do that. You know? It's just a natural reaction.
You clap.
Oh, I love wizards.
Well, they do that thing as well, the Harry Potter. They bring out, they have the cover for the kids' version, and then they have an adult's cover as well, so you don't feel embarrassed reading. But it still says big letters, Harry Potter.
Part of the reason I haven't read it is I haven't finished all the Mr. Men books yet, and I don't feel I'm ready to make that leap. You know,
And it was £4.99 in Quicksave. £4.99.
In Quicksave?
In
It's
Quicksave.
where I buy all my literature. How much are they knocking Tolstoy out at these days?
Well, it's obviously a lost leader, so you'll spend a fortune in Quicksave while you're
Spend
there.
a fortune...
Exactly.
In Quicksave?
Contradictory terms.
You can do a trolley dash and get change for a tenner. Sarah Beanie, do you read these books?
I actually listen to them on tape.
You're too lazy to even read Harry Potter, which is for kids. We listen to your advice every week about houses you haven't got a clue how to live, for God's sake.
Actually, that is true. I should be ashamed, shouldn't I?
Yes.
Yeah, they're better on tape, because Stephen Fry reads them.
Yes.
Yeah, and also you can switch them off and chuck them out the window.
Well, let's have a look and see if Harry Potter was one of the most talked about things this week. Oh. Yes, it was.
Well done.
Yes, the second most talked about thing this week was the story of the launch of the Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. I've not read it, but presumably the Half-Blood Prince is Prince Harry. Dave, over to you.
Right.
And your team. What have the nation been talking about this week?
I think it's possibly Sienna leaving Jude. I think that's upset us all, really, hasn't it? You know, desperate. It's got the ideal, perfect couple, and he's been cheating with the nanny. She's kept a diary, because nannies do that, don't they? And it said, and we made love on the pool table. The balls were everywhere. Well done, Jude.
I thought the interview was that obviously he's had sex with his nanny, which means he's a classy guy. I reckon the safe money is that the next nanny will be called Bernard. Apparently, he said she was so good, you know, we were going to recommend her to the Beckhams.
There's a letter in the paper, The Sun, from Sadie Frost to Sienna saying, you know, don't worry, things will get better. She's like, why would she listen to her?
I don't get why she would write a letter to the newspaper to her, though.
Because she gleefully hasn't stopped laughing since it happened.
There was a thing in the papers quoting Sadie Frost's PA. What does she do? Cut to her office. Hello? Wrong number.
Let's have a look and see whether Jude and his nanny are one of the most popular talking points this week.
Oh,
yes, they are.
One all. Game on.
Yes, Jude Law was caught sleeping with the nanny. I suspect he'll be on the naughty step for quite some time. The nanny is the most embarrassing thing Jude's been in since Alfie. Sean's team, what else have people been talking about this week?
Well, something I thought was very interesting was there's a teachers' conference going on, and a leading educational expert suggested they've get rid of the word failure from the school vocabulary, that kids no longer fail because it discourages, what I would say, you can only say, like, maybe the more less achieving kids, the thicker kids. I think they should get rid of some other words, like late. Get rid of late. You're not late? No, I'm early. Just not as early as I should have been. I'm not lazy. I'm energetically challenged. Or I'm not a liar. I've just got a fact allergy.
I'm afraid that isn't in the top 5 most talked about things.
My friend Mark had a threesome this week. There you go. Is that on the list?
Unless they did it in Trafalgar Square, I doubt it.
What have the nation been talking about?
Oh, I don't know, team. Any ideas?
We're playing cricket against Australia, and we've won the toss. We've won the toss. Are they talking about that in the pubs up and down the country?
No.
I don't know.
Because we lost the toss.
The Ashes, it's the old enemy, it's Australia, so that's what makes it important.
It's a made-up sport. A sport that lasts for 3, 4, 5 days is ridiculous.
What do you mean it's a made-up sport? They're all made up.
There's no great characters in cricket anymore, like Beefy Botham. You've got Shane Warne, the Australian. Obviously, he's like always putting it about, isn't he? He's like, he always insists that no sex during a game. That's about his limit, really.
Let's have a look and see if the cricket's up there. Oh! Yes, it is. The 5th most talked about thing this week. Cricket's up there, news. England hasn't won the Ashes for 20 years. According to The Times, the last time England won, Terry Waite was kidnapped. The Australians are such bad losers. OK, there's still one to guess. Fingers on buzzers. What's the most talked about thing this week?
The under-16 lad who sued the police for escorting him home. The police can escort home kids even if they haven't been badly behaved if they're under 16. And this lad, who's only called W in the papers, took him to the High Court and won.
I blame the parents. Fancy calling a kid W?
Oh, no, it's rubbish.
Yeah. That's that crime boy. We've got crime boy up our way. He's always in trouble. What do you expect? Crime boy's been at it again. Get away.
Well, let's have a look and see if kids' curfews is in the top 5. Yes, it is. There is already a very successful scheme for keeping teenage boys off the streets. It's known as internet porn. Right, well, I can tell you at the end of that, Sarah, Ian and Dave have 2 points, Ralph, Simon and Sean have 2 points. The next round is called the Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. Here's your first fact. It's from a survey featured in The Times from April of this year. 43% of UK kids worry that their parents what?
Might get back together.
Most kids, the most embarrassing thing their parents do is start a band. Oh, that'd be embarrassing, wouldn't it? Dad on bass, mum on drums.
Why don't you just tell us the answers? You've got us all here. We could be doing important show business work. Me and Ralph could be opening a fate or something.
Has anyone got a fate they need opening? No. Let's continue with the quiz.
All right.
43% of UK kids worry that their parents...
are coming to Glastonbury as well. You don't recognise me, I've painted my face.
You almost mentioned it before.
Because they'd embarrass them.
Correct.
That's it? That's it?
Yes, 43% of UK kids worry that their parents will embarrass them. I remember I got embarrassed by my dad dancing at a family wedding. I say family wedding, it was gay pride. 78% of pensioners are satisfied with what?
The walk-in bath. They're good, aren't they, the walk-in baths? With a little door on them. You get in, you shut the door, you sit down, and they've got to fill it. They've got plenty of time on their hands, obviously, old people, but they sit in the bath, and then they have the bath, and then they've got to drain it before they can open the door to get out. It's like they sit there, and the water goes out, and they... What am I doing in here? Must be having a bath. Start all over again. No wonder it's so bloody wrinkly, is it?
78% of pensioners are satisfied with their new baby with Penny Lancaster.
Is it 78% of pensioners are satisfied with their bowling form? Because they like bowling, don't they? Crown Green bowling. My granddad played till he was 93. He played right up till the day he died, the day before I was playing with him, and he bowled his foot to the other end of the green, and it was quite good. And he shouted to the bloke walking past, he went, "Oh, am I there? Oh, am I there?" He said, "You're a foot in front." He said, "What did he call me then?" Oh, man.
So 78% of pensioners are satisfied with...
Nice cup of tea and a sit down. Oh, yeah. And making that noise when they sit down going, ah. It's nice going out, but it's nice coming home.
I shall tell you, 78% of pensioners are satisfied with their meals on wheels.
Oh.
OK, your next one is from a survey featured in The Express in May. 93% of cat owners believe their pet helps them what?
Is it drown out the sound of their biological clocks ticking?
Is it helps them solve crimes? Who wouldn't want a crime-fighting cat?
Fit in down the cat club. It's all right, it's with me. Milk?
I mean, people who do have cats, I mean, you can have a lot of fun with cats. I did have a cat for a short period of time, and I used to like... The thing I used to like doing with this... You know when you pick a cat up by its sort of front legs, and you just hold it for a bit, they get longer and longer.
Yeah, they do.
And if you hold them, you can really stretch them out. You can get... You start swinging them. I had to go up the upstairs window and have them out on the street.
They're very comforting, cats. I think they help with calming down.
Yes, I'll give you that. Yes, 93% of cat owners believe their pet helps them cope with stress. Of course, pets can also cause stress. I was distraught when my dog died. I had a lot of money riding on that fight. You should have seen the size of the badger. So at the end of that round, I can tell you that Dave's team have 4 points and Sean's team have 3 points. time for What's the Poll? I'm going to show you 5 people who are all popular answers on the same poll. All our panellists have to do is tell me, what's the poll? Here is your first person.
Nowadays, everybody can have their own little bit of the Arctic with a home freezer. And there are 2 main kinds. This one, the upright one, has the advantage of not taking up too much floor space. With the second type of freezer, the chest type, this doesn't happen as much, although it does take up a lot more floor space. And I suppose if you're a very small person, you might find it difficult to find things right down at the bottom.
Delia Smith there. What poll do you think she might have appeared on?
This is a poll of the most patronising people in the world.
It's not a poll of the most patronising people in the world, but well done for your guess.
She knows nothing about freezers, that woman. Yeah. I know. I got her top tips book, and it says quite clearly that a chicken should keep fresh in a freezer for 6 months. So I put one in on Tuesday, I have a look today, it's dead.
Well, it could be people you'd like to cook dinner for you, but you wouldn't want them to eat it with you. Thanks very much. Can you go now?
OK, next person on the poll. Darth Vader there at the premiere of Shrek 2. What poll do you think Delia and Darth might have appeared on?
Is it a poll of women and fictional emperors?
I'll check for you.
No. The thing I always wonder about Darth Vader, if you think about it, like, he's got that, he wears that all the time, doesn't he? So he never gets any sunlight. You'd think he'd have rickets. Big bandy-legged fella like that just then.
I bet George Lucas is feeling pretty stupid right about now.
Is it people who are white but actually have the voice of a short, fat black man?
Okay, next up, Joss Stone.
Has Darth Vader got his own range of pasta sauces?
Is it famous asthmatics?
No. Next person.
Tonight, singing live once again, Gary Mullen is Freddie Mercury!
Freddie Mercury there. What poll do you think he might have appeared on with Delia Smith and Darth Vader?
Is it people you'd be quite surprised to find out were your father?
He was gay, Freddie Mercury, but he was in the closet, wasn't he? He only came out the day before he died. And I just thought, really? Who knew?
People really didn't know. People used to say he can't be gay, he's got a moustache.
Yeah. The only people who didn't know probably were my nan and Brian May, I reckon. Brian May would just go, no, not Freddie, surely. But I mean, he tried to throw us off the scent with fat-bottomed girls, but...
Let's have a look at the next clip.
Oh, excuse me, Ricky. Ricky, I did see what you were doing. It felt good, didn't it? We all have feelings like this sometimes. I'm just glad you're doing this in the privacy of your own room. I'll be sure to knock next time, okay?
That's not right.
A clip there from a 1975 parental training film to illustrate mothers.
Why didn't she just knock?
Yeah. She said she'd knock next time. She'd made a mistake. She'd learnt from it.
Right. Did she say that?
Yeah.
You absorbed that whole film. Shame it's not the Krypton factor. We'd get loads of points. Surely she should have checked. You know, 'cause he might have been building an Airfix kit.
What's worse is if you've been doing it to something on the telly and fallen asleep, when you wake up, she's put a cup of tea there.
Surely, Dave, if your mum put a cup of tea down, you'd hear the cup rattling.
So, Delia, Darth Vader, Freddie Mercury and mothers. What's the poll?
Is this people who have no idea how to communicate in a pleasant way?
I thought Freddie's voice touched millions of people.
Actually, apart from him, who's
Well,
the
you
other
can't
one
have a Paul apart from someone, can you? He's the whole object of the game.
It's to do with something that you don't tell anyone.
Secrets.
It's to do with your computer.
Passwords.
Correct.
Oh.
Yes, they've all appeared on a list of the most popular names used for computer passwords. Number 1 on the list was Gandalf. That's tough to crack, isn't it? Right, he's a computer geek, he lives alone. Let's try Gandalf. What's Klingon for Gandalf? We're in. So at the end of that round, it's 3 points for Ralph, Simon and Sean, and 5 points for Sarah, Ian and Dave. And the winner is the name of our final round. I'm going to give the teams a series of opinion polls and surveys. It's up to them to buzz in and tell me who or what they think came top. Here is your first one. Most miserable job.
I imagine a very miserable job, depressing more miserable, would be a director of panda pornography. Hanging around on set. Come on. I had a terrible job. My worst job I ever had. I used to work in the kitchens of a psychiatric hospital, and one of my jobs was when the big industrial bins filled up with food, before they were collected, my job was to scare the patients away from the bins. They'd come and try and get food out of the bin. And I'd have to go, yeah, get away, get away.
You were a scarecrow for mental people.
Yeah, I had to scare psychiatric patients away from bins.
Yeah, that was your special job, wasn't it?
Yeah.
You weren't one of them.
No.
No, that's your job, your special job. You were employed there. You're different from the others, yeah. Yeah, of course, yeah.
I had special boots. I had special boots.
Special boots given to him by Napoleon, no less.
Is the most miserable job being that woman on the adverts that Michael Winner tells to calm down, dear?
It's not something really mundane like bin men, is it?
It's kind of a dull thing you sort of switch off if someone tells you they work in it.
Insurance.
IT.
Correct.
Oh, well done.
Yes, the most miserable job is working in IT. Yes, according to the research, the unhappiest person in Britain is a male IT worker in his 30s, separated, childless, and living in Southampton. Hello, Clive. What Brits would buy if money were no object?
Scratch cards.
France, just to close it down.
Oh, Dave!
Finger, what's your finger?
Why can't we have moments like that?
I like the way you did that for quite a long time and it looks exactly the same.
Couldn't do the same with yours, could we? Because it's made of wood.
Your hand would fall off.
Jimmy combs it with a mallet.
What Brits would buy if money were no object?
2 boxes of Ferrero Rocher.
A Make Poverty History wristband made of African gold and ivory.
Come on, what would you buy if money were no object?
Is it cleaner?
I'll give you a cleaner. It's actually a live-in maid. Best way to sell your house?
Oh. Is it buying The Developer's Bible by Sarah Beatty for $18.99 from all good bookshops?
I think the best way is don't mention the massacre. Let them find out over time from the neighbours. You're living at 32.
Is it put it on the market? Is it have an adjustable sales plan? Remember, a reactive plan is an effective plan.
And you've got to get the number 1 answer, or I'm afraid Channel 4 are taking away your contract.
EastEnders.
That's the right answer. Yes, the best way to sell your house is to build an extension. Oh, well, that noise tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the game. So I can tell you that the final scores are Ralph, Simon and Sean have 5 points, but Dave has 1 with Sarah and Ian with 7 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
On 8 out of 10 Cats. Staying up late, it's Kate Garraway. Live from Glasgow, Frankie Boyle. And their captain, Dave Spikey. And facing them tonight, he's a celebrity, Vic Reed. The lovable Alan Carr. And their captain, Sean Locke. Now, make some noise for your host, Jimmy Carr.
Welcome to 8 out of 10 Cats, a show about opinion polls, surveys and statistics. This is interesting. The Bible is the world's most shoplifted book. To be fair, how are you meant to know you shouldn't steal it before you've read it? 14% of bosses think it's acceptable for potential employees to lie on their CVs. If Channel 4 bosses are watching this, I haven't got a GCSE in French. Suckers. And the average marriage lasts 11 years. I imagine there are a few people at home right now thinking, yes, I'm out in too. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories they've been discussing this week. It's our panellist job to guess the British public's top 5 most popular talking points. I'll give you the number 1 story. It's the London bombing arrests. But what else have people been talking about? Sean, your team to go first.
It's anything to do with the opening of the Easy Hotel. The EasyJet guy, he's gone into hotels now.
Who's this, Stelios?
Stelios, and he's opening an EasyJet hotel. It's only 20 quid a night to stay in London, but the rooms are bright orange. I don't...
In fact, they are oranges.
Yeah.
You have to burrow into them.
No, actually, they're not.
Aren't they? Well, I'm not staying then.
He's gone into hotels and he's spreading his empire. He's bringing the Easy brands to loads of different things. And I'm looking forward to the Easy Zoo. I think about very sort of low-rent crap where everything's orange. There's about 200 foxes and a pigeon that lives off Wotsits.
I can tell you that the opening of the Easy Hotel is not in the top 5.
Knew it.
Dave, your team, what have the nation been talking about this week?
I think they've been talking about the space shuttle with bits falling off it. I think it's 25 years old. What are they doing sending that up there? I've got a 15-year-old Caravanette. I wouldn't got Grange over Sands in it. You know what I mean?
It must have been quite worrying when George Bush comes up on the screen to talk to them. See, on re-entry, guys, could you possibly aim the craft at Iran?
The thing is, have you seen the crew? Eileen, she's called. She's commandant. She's Eileen Collins. She's a mobile hairdresser as well, obviously. Have you seen her hair, that Eileen? It's just like done. She thought, well, I've got to put that helmet on. So she's done her hair like that. It's just like
Do you think she decided to be an astronaut when she was at the hairdressers in one of those things? This is the look for me.
They're saying they've repaired the shuttle now, but, like, if you were on a plane and you just watched the pilot shin his way out along the wing with a hacksaw, and then he'd come in and go, oh, it's fine now, you'd be shitting yourself.
Well, let's have a look and see if it's in the top 5 talking points this week. Yes, it is. Yes, this is the story of the repairs being carried out on the space shuttle this week. Discovery will soon be returning to home base. Or if they're closed, they'll be nipping into B&Q. If all the people in China stood on each other's shoulders, they could reach the moon, which is not only an interesting fact, it's also the latest rescue plan. Sean, Vic and Alan, what else have the nation been talking about?
Is it Big Brother with Kinga coming down on a bottle? She did come down. I felt sorry for the bottle. I really did.
she'll not get much back on that at Threshers, will she?
She should have done us all a favour and stuck Eugene up, shouldn't she?
What are you doing,
Is there any chance that she was just part of a recycling project? She's got, like, a paper compactor as well.
To be fair to her, Frankie, she was drunk. She'd had the best part of a bottle of wine inside her.
Listen, the freaks in there, it's like being locked on a night bus.
I saw it. I mean, it was an extraordinary incident, though, wasn't it?
They're always trying to outdo each other, and I just imagine when she stuck the bottle up, Makosi coming out with a fire hydrant going, "Let the games begin."
have a look and see if Kinga's behaviour on Big Brother was one of the top 5 most talked about things. Yes, it was. Everyone's been talking about Big Brother this week, specifically Kinga pleasuring herself with a wine bottle. It was a Merlot. Anthony had a Semillon. I think it was just a misunderstanding. The bottle did say screw top. Over to you, Dave, to raise the tone. What else have the nation been talking about?
What do you think, team?
Oh, thongs, I think. But then maybe you haven't because you're all boys.
Well, the demise of the thong.
The demise of the thong, yeah. Apparently we're not buying them anymore as girls. If you're a girl with a big bottom, it makes your bottom look smaller.
It doesn't make your bottom look smaller, it makes your bottom look naked with a rope up it.
I can tell you, thongs were not in the top 5. It was the story that sales of the thongs have fallen and they've gone out of fashion. For all the good they do you, you may as well stick them up your arse. Fingers on buzzers. Most talked about things this week.
Is it the Irish woman who's won 79 million on the lottery?
Dolores.
And now the world's kidnappers are having their own lottery to decide who gets to take her hostage first. If I was a kidnapper, I would actually be cutting out the letters from the ransom note from that story as I was reading it. Oh, we could use the L from lottery in kill. There we go.
That's a cheery take on the story.
And she's got the good fortune to live in Ireland where there's a lot of out-of-work terrorists looking for a pension plan.
Apparently they said to her, they said, well, you know, we can't pay it you all at once. You can have some now, and then some in 6 months, and then some in a year. And she went, oh, if you're going to piss about, give us my £1 back.
Let's have a look and see if the Irish lottery win is in our top 5 most talked about stories. Yes, it is. Fingers on buzzers, what else is in the top 5?
A nice galleon.
Is there any more to that story?
Nope, that's it.
I'll have a check for you, Vic.
Story about the really nice galleon.
Yeah. Did you hear that one?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah.
No, the nice galleon didn't make it, but you know, thanks for playing along.
Pleasure.
Come on, one more thing to get. Fingers on buzzers.
Is it Tony Blair saying he's going to leave politics?
I asked him why he was giving up. He said, because the country is on its arse.
He's just bought a ghost train at a fun fair in Bridlington. He's going to run that instead. I heard.
Let's have a look and see if those rumours about Tony Blair quitting are in the top 5. Yes! There are rumours this week that Tony Blair is to stand down at the next election. He is set to make a fortune on the lecture circuit. Fair enough, he's got mouths to feed, one of which is enormous. Well, I can tell you at the end of that round that Sean, Vic and Alan have 2 points and Dave, Frankie and Kate have 2 points. The next round is called the Poll with a Hole. We've looked through hundreds of surveys, past and present, from around the world and unearthed some fascinating facts. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. Dave's team, you're first. 62% of pupils believe that teachers what?
Shouldn't really be in the showers with them.
Is it that teachers is their preferred brand of whiskey?
He's from Glasgow.
Is it 62% of pupils believe that teachers are really good at teaching them maths and 80% think they're not great?
Is it 62% of pupils believe that teachers are mad as a buzz? Because I think we all had a mad teacher. We had an absolutely mental, mad teacher. I can't obviously tell you his name, but he was married to a woman called Mrs. Forsyth. He was mad because he used to, in the lesson, if you weren't paying attention, he'd say, right, I'm going to go and stand outside and I'm not coming back in until you behave. And we used to just go mad and he'd keep opening the door now and again going, I'm still here.
We used to have a teacher, he'd literally come in with a chainsaw and he'd take the heads of the
I'll give you a clue to this. It's how the teachers feel about their pupils.
They like to think they like them, don't they?
That is the right answer.
Oh.
Yeah, 62% of pupils believe that teachers like them. That or they can't spell lick. Dave's team, 30% of Scottish women have what?
Been banned from Weatherspoons? Is it have appeared as extras in Bad Girls?
Is it I've breastfed in public? Only I went to school. A mate of mine, they come from Scotland. His mum was Scottish, obviously, more ag or something like that, I don't know. And she was still breastfeeding him at school when he was 5 at primary school. She used to come and do it through the railings. It's really funny. But the sad thing was, she was a real gossip, so if she saw somebody she knew at the other end at the playground there, she'd be off and he'd be like, ah.
Did you grow up in a cartoon?
Yeah.
Well, you were closest with the Weatherspoons guess. It's a type of crime.
Drunk and disorderly?
No.
Shoplifted alcohol.
Correct.
Really? There you go.
Yes, 30% of Scottish women have stolen alcohol. Sean's team, 16% of medical students have been what by nurses?
Injected by their ovipositors.
Yes, that's it. Moving on.
By the what? What was that?
Ovipositors.
Oh, right.
You know, the stem that injects the eggs into the host.
Yeah. And do you get the people doing that to lots of it going, yeah. Yeah, mate.
Yeah,
anyway.
yeah.
Yeah, the galleon, yeah, brilliant.
It's something that you would normally associate with happening at school.
Teased.
Bullied.
Correct. Dave's team, your next one. The average British man spends £13 a year on what?
Treating his wife. Go on, you have that yourself. Go on, you go and spend that. No, I don't want anything back. Off you go.
Is it throwing coins at referees?
You have a go, Vic. Have a go.
Oh, push bike.
That's a brilliant answer. Well done.
Thank you.
Have another go.
Walnuts, I suppose.
Very good answer as well.
Yeah, thanks.
Is that right? Is it walnuts and push bike?
Your whole body posture there suggests I've got the right answer. You can trust me. No, I'm serious on this one. Yeah.
No,
Is it push bikes?
I can't take all the credit for this. It was Sean.
I'm kind of his manager, really. Trainer, manager.
Yeah.
I encourage.
Carer.
Yeah.
No. There's right. Listen. There are how many months in a year? 13. How much for your lodgings? A month? £1? £13. Rent is the answer.
It's just the smug look after the wrong answer.
Is it coconuts? Because I probably buy 5 or 6 coconuts a year. So
you get them cheap.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
You know the coconut shop?
Oh, yeah.
By the station?
Yeah.
Kate Garraway, did you have one final guess from Kate Garraway?
Socks or underwear? They don't ever
That's the
buy
correct
them, do
answer.
they? Really?
Yes, the average British man spends £13 a year on underwear. I was in Marks and Spencer's the other day. I splashed out some lacy knickers. Had to pay for them. So, at the end of that round, I can tell you that Alan, Vic and Sean have 2 points. Kate, Frankie and Dave have 7 points. Time for What's the Poll? I'm going to show you 5 people who were all popular answers on the same poll. All our panellists have to do is tell me, what's the poll? Here is your first one.
And the relationship between Mary and this dog is sensational to watch. Oh, this is delightful. And it's almost telepathic. She's using mostly just little signals, not commands. Oh, stunning. Wonderful. What a performance.
What poll do you think dogs might have appeared on?
Is this dogs with specs or just dogs in general?
A friend of mine had a dog, and this is true, it's got a lisp, this dog. And when it barks, he goes like this, he goes, Rouse! And then it developed a stammer, and it goes, Rouse!
The dogs are a man's best friend, aren't they?
Yeah.
So I'm just wondering, is it something to do with a poll of best friends who have at one time or another shit in your kitchen?
No. OK, let's have a look at the next person on the poll. athlete John Drummond there getting upset to illustrate the Olympics. What poll do you think might have featured the Olympics and dogs?
Is it things that postmen hate? Because postmen hate dogs and they hate the Olympics.
Why?
Well, the Olympic Village, they go there and it's just, you know, Saeed Asu Wara Wara, and they've just got to go and find him, haven't they? You ever been to see the postman in Olympic Village? Just...
Dogs are going to be allowed into the Olympics. Swimming.
I'd like to see a 24-hour Vic Reeves news channel.
You're in luck.
Yeah.
I actually thought I was appearing on Eat Out of Tin Cans. Well, we would just have to eat out of tin cans and enjoy it for half an hour. That's why I went on this show.
Let's have a look at the next person on the list.
She knows hubby has to work hard, but if only he could be in punctually sometimes. Ah, there he is now. She's heard it plenty of times before, but she actually believes that stuff about being kept at the office.
No, I won't work too hard. I'll be home as soon as possible. Ah, that was the phone. I must go now. Goodbye, darling.
Mobile phones there. Television companies have been accused of profiting from mobile phone voting. If you want to hear the punchline to that joke, text moron to the number on your screen now. What poll do you think mobile phones, the Olympics and dogs might have appeared on?
I know. David Beckham, he did a telephone advert.
Yeah?
Football is going to be in the Olympics and
Yeah.
Beckham rides a dog when he comes on the pitch.
It was so good, but he sort of fell down on that third one, I felt. OK, let's have a look at the next person.
Milo! A snake! A snake? Where? In the garden. You didn't touch it, did you? No, I didn't. Oh, good. Where is it now? I don't know. I left Doodles with... Turtles? It's probably eating turtles!
That was the Tweenies.
The Tweenies are pretty terrifying. Yeah. They look sort of like a normal family that live under a mobile phone mast.
Children like dogs, the Tweenies, the Olympics and mobile phones.
Let's have a look at the next thing on the list.
To be attractive, you just have to know that you are and just be happy with yourself no matter what you look like. And then you'll be attractive because everybody's beautiful.
Paris Hilton there. What poll do you think they all might have appeared on?
I think, is it things that they've got other names for? Like she's got a Paris Hilton, her real name's Reading Travel Lodge. Olympics, a lot of people just go, Olympics, innit? Can I have the points?
I think Paris Hilton is the big clue here.
So she had sex on the internet, and the Tweenies have had sex on the internet.
Is it things people have been searching for on the internet?
Yeah, Frankie Moore, that's the correct answer. They all appear on a poll of the most searched words on the internet. So, at the end of that round, it is 8 points for Dave's team and 2 points to Sean's team.
Don't worry, Dave.
And the winner is the name of our final round. I'm going to give the teams a series of opinion polls and surveys. It's up to them to buzz in and tell me who or what they think came top. Here is your first one. The greatest food innovation of the 20th century.
The spork. You know that plastic? They've made a spoon and a fork as one thing. That's clever, that spork.
I think probably the greatest leap forwards is the Muller fruit corner. That's a fantastic thing because you can have your yoghurt first, then your fruit, or you can have your fruit, then your yoghurt, or you can just eat the fruit, not bother with the yoghurt.
He's got a point.
Or you can eat the yoghurt and just chuck the fruit on a cat or something. And it's just so many options with
Do
one...
you write the serving suggestion on the front?
Or a Scotch egg. That's a fantastic invention.
What about the gala pie? It's a similar thing, but square.
Scotch egg, vegetarians can have a Scotch egg, can't they? Because they can throw the meat away and they can eat the egg.
Yeah, and the same with the gala pie.
I'd like it to be the pot noodle. I like pot noodles because it's just pop the kettle on, taste it for 5 days afterwards. Love it.
Do you genuinely eat pot noodles?
Yeah, I watch Diagnosis Murder in the afternoon and eat chicken and mushroom pot noodles.
Have you ever thought about maybe having an affair?
Powdered egg.
Powdered egg?
Don't laugh and don't mock it. Don't you ever mock powdered egg.
I mock powdered egg because it's a very sad story. My grandfather, right, he had powdered egg during the war. He thought it was drugs. He snorted it, right, and he choked on his own omelette.
It's a way of preserving food.
Freezing.
Correct. The greatest food innovation of the 20th century is frozen food.
Yeah!
Rudest people in Europe.
American tourists.
Is it? I think the British, we're the rudest people in Europe because we travel around, we don't learn the language, we don't bother to learn anyone's language, we just put an O on everything. Go, I'll have 3-0, beer-o.
So I don't speak Spanish, what was that? The Brits are actually number 3 on the list of the rudest people in Europe.
Is it Vikings?
Is it Vikings?
Yes.
They never knock, do they?
No.
Straight in.
Yeah, that's the worst thing about Vikings, they never knock.
Is it Scottish people when they're trying to be friendly? Have a drink, Jimmy, you prick.
I have a suspicion it might be either the Visigoths, the Bohemians, or the Vandals. I'm going to go for the Vandals.
Yeah. They're from that area in Europe, yeah.
Germans.
Correct. Yes, the rudest people in Europe are the Germans. Their butlins is apparently shit. My granddad was telling me about it. He went there in the war. Well, that sound tells me that it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Sean's team have 5 points, but Dave is the winner with 8 points. Thanks to all our panellists, our wonderful studio audience, and to you for watching at home. That's it from us. Good night.
It's 9:30 on the final show of 8 out of 10 Cats. Joining the show tonight, it's Derek. And from Celebrity Big Brother, it's Jeremy Edwards. And their big brother, Dave Spikey. And facing them tonight, the appliance of science. Superfan Lisa Tarbuck. And their big brother, Sean Locke. With extra special guests, Maxwell, Michelle, Nick, Jade, Victor, Kamal, and here's your host, Jimmy Carr.
Welcome to the 8 out of 10 Cats Big Brother special, a show about Big Brother opinion polls, surveys and statistics. Did you know, for example, in this year's Big Brother, there were a staggering 6.5 million votes cast, meaning whoever wins has a clear mandate to invade North Korea. Of course, the title of Big Brother is taken from the George Orwell novel 1984, although this year's casting was inspired by Animal Farm. 80% of the Big Brother applicants are between 16 and 24. The rest have significantly higher IQs. Let's get started. What are you talking about? That's the name of our first round. We've teamed up with a leading polling organisation and they've asked the British nation what stories and events from this year's Big Brother they've been talking about the most. It's our panellists' job to guess the 3 most popular. Dave, Jeremy, Derek, what do you think the nation have been talking about with regards to Big Brother?
Well, in the top 3 has got to be Kinga, the bottle bank.
Has to be.
I just watched it with, like most people, I'm sure, with the jaw just getting progressively lower and lower. I'm wondering what I just thought, well, in her house, her mum and dad must have had everybody around. All the neighbours. She's on tonight, she's gone in. Come on, Auntie Margie's here. Come in, Auntie Margie. Sit down. Oh, she's smoking. I didn't know she smoked. Oh, wait a minute, mate. Wait a minute. It gets worse than that. You sit down there, have a cup of tea. Watch her, she's on. Shall I put this up my fanny?
Were you horrified, Derek?
I didn't see it.
Let's have a look at it now.
Don't do it, Kinga.
King of Dawn.
That was Kinga there, cracking open a bottle of wine.
It happens a lot on telly. I remember seeing David Attenborough in Life on Earth knocking one out, one of the gorillas. Newsnight, Paxman. He's got a live... That's a false arm, you see, Paxman's got.
I've never liked manual labour myself, which is why I've never done it.
You have a little fella come in twice a week, do you? Let's have a look and see whether the Kinga incident is in the top 3 talking points. Ooh. Yes, it is. Third most talked about thing. This is the story of Kinga turning herself into a novelty wine rack. I think what happened was she was going to ask Anthony for a shag, but in the end she bottled it. Sean's team, what else have people been talking about?
Maybe it could be the numerous arguments me and that guy had, Maxwell.
Your arguments with Maxwell?
Yeah.
I've got a clip.
You took cigarettes out of my fucking packet! You're a fucking little thief, mad wanker! Fuck off! Fools, you're out of order. Black attack!
That was like a scene from Lady Windermere's Fan, isn't it?
Science, why do you love winding people up so much?
Well, me? I don't like winding up anybody.
But there, you're doing it now.
How? All I did, yeah, it was just a clash of characters, that's all what it is. Really.
I'm pretty sure that Maxwell will 100% agree with that. Let's check.
Me and Science were having it out, and we was having a row. He's having a row to my face, he's telling me what he thought about me, I was saying what I thought about him, right? But at the end of the day, me and Science, we strong personality, strong characters, we clashed, we had a row, thought about it, and at the end of the day, I left the house, he shook my hand, and he beat me.
Yeah, I did, didn't I?
Well, I can tell you that your argument with Maxwell was the 8th most talked about thing.
The 8th? Oh.
8th, yeah. I'm going to go over to Dave's team, I'm going to ask you.
What about Craig's love for Anthony? I feel a bit sorry for Craig, actually, because I think Anthony kind of led him on. Because he comes into the house, right, and obviously Craig's attracted to him, and he snogs Orla, he then goes to Makosi, and Craig's thinking, he's a breast man, I'm in. Wait! Wait till he sees these. Nothing.
Might develop once they've left the house and there are no cameras around.
Do you think?
Possibly.
Definitely not.
Did you...
Sorry.
Oh, hang on,
No.
Jade has to talk.
No, definitely not. I think Craig is actually quite scary. You know, Michelle, I'm sorry, Michelle, but in Michelle, as she was the bunny boiler, but Craig has actually beaten that. He's actually really
You know
scary.
that's the real Michelle behind you.
And I think if that was a man harassing a woman, it would be called sexual harassment. So why is it not the same? I just think it's awful.
I'm still pretty sure we call it sexual harassment. Let's have a look and see if you're right and if Craig is sexually harassing Anthony.
Look at me, please. Look at me. Focus on me. Craig, your best friend, who cares about you greatly. You are a nightmare for me in this house. I tell you what, I fucking love you. I'll do anything for you.
Big Brother is a little concerned about Anthony this evening.
Right, OK.
He seems a little worse for wear.
Getting sick over everything.
Get off
us, man. You are acting like an arse.
Get off
us!
Craig and Anthony there enjoying the kind of romance you'd find in a Hollywood movie. Cape Fear. Let's have a look and see if that's one of the top 3 talking points.
Oh.
Yes, it is. The most talked about thing in this year's Big Brother. Yes, this is the story of Craig and Anthony's relationship. The thing Craig likes about Anthony is that he can see a bit of himself in him. OK, fingers on buzzers, one more to get.
It's got to be when Makosi sort of let the side down and she apparently had it off with Anthony and then was pregnant. Pool Audrey.
They disregarded every rule of pool etiquette, didn't they?
Yeah, didn't they?
I mean, for a start, went swimming after a big meal. It's a no. Heavy petting.
Yeah.
No bombing.
Ducking.
Bombing, Craig.
Let's have a look.
Come on.
Go, Makosi!
Isn't it?
No.
He's got a massive willy, yeah, huge! Huge! Huge!
Well, that was the Week 5 hot tub orgy. Do you think they had sex in the pool?
They definitely did it. I know for a fact that they did, because he said that they did, Craig said that they did, Ola said that they did.
I don't think they did.
She was pregnant 5 minutes later.
She's pregnant.
She jumped out of the pool, into the diary room and told him she was pregnant.
Yeah, but in that pool, it could have been anybody's, couldn't it? To be honest.
Let's have a look and see if this is one of the top talking points of Big Brother this year.
Hello.
Yes, it is. Yes, this is the story of the housemates' pool orgy where Anthony and Makosi allegedly had sex. I can assure you that it was safe sex. Anthony was wearing a verruca sock. Well, I can tell you at the end of that round, Science, Lisa and Sean have 1 point. Derek, Jeremy and Dave have 2 points. The next round is called the Poll with a Hole. We've unearthed some fascinating facts about Big Brother. Unfortunately, each statistic is missing one salient piece of information, so it's up to our panellists to fill in the gaps. Sean's team, 10% of Big Brother viewers think that Science is what?
Is his surname, and his first name is head of.
Science is history.
It's his story, which is mine. What would you like to know?
I think I know already enough.
I don't think you do.
I feel like I picked up a pirate radio station.
It's to do with your name, Science.
Is it your real name?
Christened name.
Yeah. Citizen science to you, though, please.
Yeah, no, Science the Great, as far as I'm concerned, but Kieran Harvey, if I was the authorities.
Yeah.
10% of Big Brother viewers think that Science is...
Not his real name.
Not his real name? Is close but not right. I'm going to have to tell you. 10% of Big Brother viewers think that Science is a stupid name.
Only 10%.
Where did you get the name, then? Did you give it to yourself?
No, I didn't. It came because of the way that I produce music, the way that I write lyrics and the things that I talk about, basically. The science of life, the science of culture, the science of dreams.
Boom.
And to aspire.
Give us a little taste of that.
What shall I talk about? Give me a topic then.
8 out of 10 cats.
8 out of 10 cats. All right, and I'm having a chit-chat in 8 out of 10 cats with Jimmy Carr and the rest of the gang. But you know that I'm the man. Yeah, I'm a man. Not a man's man, but you got to overstand. Now, don't be hunger, because I got a hunger. And since I've been in the house, I come out a lot stronger.
Did it.
Yeah. Well, it's a minor. A little glitch in the Matrix.
Dave, 34% of people would like to see Derek what?
Let's see Derek, he's here, look. Press play and record. You have a tape of him.
Kiss Jeremy. It's got to be. Got to be that.
Take the plums out his mouth. Not mine.
Later, Jeremy, later.
What have I done?
You know what I'd like you to see more of you doing? Bending with your knees rather than your back. Do they not send you on a lifting and handling course? Every time I've watched you, you're doing the wrong thing. You're just asking for disc trouble later on in life.
34% of people weren't as caring as you.
Could it be something absurd as leading the Conservative Party?
I'm going to give you that. Yes, 34% of people would like to see Derek start his own political party. Derek, do you think you'd be good at that?
No, I'm a follower, not a leader. I follow people. They're usually tall, dark and very handsome.
Thank you very much, Derek, but I'm going to say no. Dave's team. 12% of Big Brother applicants are what?
Practising in freshers.
Sane, and the other 96% mad.
96?
What about the other two? 88. He was the clever one.
12% of the Big Brother applicants are real.
Do you really think that's the answer?
No, not really. Isn't that a good thing?
I'll give you a clue. It's a job.
It's a job.
Oh. Shelf stackers.
Hairdressers.
You are absolutely right. Lisa Tarbuck. Yes, 12% of Big Brother applicants are hairdressers. 2 of the housemates this year are hairdressers. Anthony is a trainee and Craig runs his own salon. He's already offered Anthony some sort of job. OK, Sean's team. 34% of Big Brother contestants what after leaving the house?
I reckon 34% of Big Brother contestants go back to Asda.
Nah, man, Asda's do classic quick save.
Science, you're one of the contestants.
Yeah. I reckon what they should do is go to remote Scottish Island and have a little word with themselves. What have you been doing since you left the Big Brother house? Number 1.
I read that you made $1 million since you left, did you?
I don't ask you about your wages.
You can.
I wouldn't like to, it's rude. No,
you're right.
I haven't made $1 million.
Sorry, that is rude, I apologise. How much do you weigh, Jade?
Lose weight.
That's the right answer.
Hey.
Yes, 34% of Big Brother contestants lose weight after leaving the house, mainly by bringing out their own fitness videos. Nadia's weight loss programme was a little bit more extreme. She cut out all meat and 2 veg. So at the end of that round, it is 3 points for Sean's team and 4 points for Dave's team. Our next round is face-off. We have 6 well-known Big Brother housemates in the studio. Kamal, Nick, Jade, Victor, Michelle and Maxwell. We asked the public, which of these housemates would do best on Mastermind? Who got the most votes?
Why can't I maybe have some votes?
Sorry, it's who would be best on Mastermind.
Yeah.
Did you not understand that question?
I think, Jade, I think you do very well, but you'd be spinning around the chair.
I'm going to say Nick.
You're going to go with Nasty Nick?
Yeah.
OK. Dave's team, what do you think?
I'd love to see Jade on it. Just imagine it would be like you've passed on all 22. The answer to question 1 was Jade.
What would your specialist subject be?
Shoes and handbags.
Who are you going to go for, team?
I think we've got to go for Kamal.
I'll go with that.
Yeah. What do you think, Jeremy?
Well, I don't think anything would be any good, to be honest. So... well, I'm sorry, but, you know...
Yeah, they're not like the cast of Hollyoaks, are they?
No.
Victor, what would your specialist subject be on Mastermind?
General knowledge, really, like...
Your specialist subject would be general knowledge?
That would be it.
That is amazing. Yeah. And your specialist subject is general knowledge?
Why, is that not a subject?
Is it not a subject? No, Jade, but when your specialist subject... I can't believe I'm having to explain that to a human being. General knowledge is the general bit, and then they do have a specialist subject.
Oh, in knowledge.
In knowledge, no. Oh, you're adorable. Well, you went with Kamal, you went with Nick. I can tell you that Kamal got 19% of the vote, but the public thought the best person on Mastermind would be Nasty Nick. He got 50% of the vote. According to the public, Nick was voted the housemate that would be best on Mastermind. His specialist subject would, of course, be the role of Buttons in various pantos across the East Midlands. We asked the public, which of these housemates would you most like to meet on a blind date? Who got the most votes? Dave's team.
I'd want to go on a blind date with Jade. I'm picking Jade every time, aren't I? I'm sorry, I would. My worry is she'd never find a place, you know, the arranged place. It's like, I'll meet you outside Ritz's. I'm not going to Brazil.
Okay, who are you going for?
It's got to be Michelle, hasn't it?
I think Michelle.
It's got to be Michelle.
I don't, yeah.
No.
We go for Michelle.
Yeah. You're going to go for Michelle?
Even half the chance.
Who are you going to go for, Sean?
Who would you like to meet on a blind date?
The public is actually the ones
Come on.
that have done this. I ain't got a clue, but I'm going to go for Jade, innit? Because Jade, everybody loves Jade. Now you're getting it wrong.
That's cute.
Like that, man. Sway with it, sway with it, sway with it, flow with it. Yeah, man. Yeah, man.
Does anybody remember the wooden tops?
Lisa, who do you think the public would have voted for?
Kamal.
You think Kamal?
There,
Why?
I said it.
You went for Michelle. I can tell you that Michelle got 20% of the vote, but Kamal got 35% of the vote. It was the top answer. OK, this is to Sean's team. We asked the public which of these housemates would make the worst Prime Minister. Who got the most votes?
Maxwell would make a bad Prime Minister. Very bad.
Is it because you would be tried for treason? In it?
Yeah, all of that, man. You know what I mean? They blame it on citizen science all the time.
I've got Jade down for Foreign Secretary. European Constitution, East Anglia. Come on.
Who are you going to go for?
Jade, I think.
I'll actually see, what's his name? Tony Blair, and walk straight past him. I didn't even know it was him. So.
What was Tony Blair doing at Blue Water?
OK, so you've gone for Maxwell. I can tell you that Maxwell got 10% of the vote as the worst Prime Minister, but Jade was the top answer with 50% of the vote.
Oh, bless him.
But in fairness to you, Jade, if you were elected leader, you wouldn't be the stupidest world leader, would you? And President Bush is thicker than you, isn't he?
I don't know who these people are.
President Bush. You've heard of President Bush, though, yeah?
Is that the man that sort of looks like a teddy bear that's in America?
President of America or the United States? Which one would you rather?
They're both the same.
Oh, this is good. OK, Dave, this is your final question.
All right.
We asked the public which of these housemates would make the best superhero. Who got the most votes?
Oh, Victor, didn't you have a couple of names, like superhero names, like the Milkman? And did you do the plumber? Was that... Why was that?
Because I leave pipe.
He's basically our job man. We're going to go for Victor.
OK, you're going for Victor. Sean, what do you think?
What would your superpowers be, Vic?
Turn up really late, take your account details and launder mass amounts of money through them. Fraud boy.
Should we go with Kamal?
Do you realise Kamal had having assortment of weapons to throw in it, like a laser mirror and like throwing boomerang stilettos and things.
You could also throw a hissy fit.
Yeah,
OK, well, I can tell you that Kamal only got 16% of the vote. What? Victor was the top answer, 23% of the vote. Yes, according to the public, Victor would make the best superhero. One of his nicknames is the Milkman, because he always delivers milk. He's now a milkman, it's his job. So at the end of that round, I can tell you that Derek, Jeremy and Dave have 6 points, and Science, Lisa and Sean have 5 points. And the winner is the name of our final round. I'm going to give the teams a series of opinion polls based on Big Brother. It's up to them to buzz in and tell me who or what they think came top. Here is your first one. Person you'd least like to be stuck in the Big Brother house with?
Robert Mugabe.
Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong.
Well, it's all moon this, moon that.
It's a current housemate.
Craig.
Correct.
Has to be. Oh, well done.
Here's a look at why Craig might not be great to live with.
That is putting something over somebody. Not... Listen! Stop doing that! I won't put up fucking things!
I don't know what the bloke's problem is.
No, you need to pull yourself. I can't do it, I can't. Oh.
He behaves like a pregnant woman with malaria.
My God. Favourite ever housemate? Fingers on buzzers.
It was definitely Jade.
Well, you're absolutely right. Jade is the most popular Big Brother contestant ever. Jade, let's have a look at some of the reasons why you're the most popular Big Brother contestant ever.
Everybody goes on about Sherlock Holmes, and everybody goes on about Mr. Einstein. And I thought Inspector Morse and Mr. Einstein were together, sort of thing.
Say that again?
I thought Sherlock Holmes was like related to Inspector Morse, and Inspector Morse was related to Mr. Einstein and Mother Teresa.
I think a round of applause for Jade, the most popular Big Brother contestant ever. Thank you. Well, that sound tells me it's the end of the round and the end of the show, which means the final scores are Science, Lisa and Sean have 8 points, Derek, Jeremy and Dave have 7 points, meaning Sean's team are the winners. Thank you to all of our guests this evening, our wonderful studio audience, and to all of you for watching at home. That's it from us. See you next year. Hello, I'm Jimmy Carr, and I don't want to impose on your day. I know you just watched a clip of me. You probably had enough of me already. But if you could like and subscribe, that would help me in some way, which I don't fully understand. I think basically if you like and subscribe, then down the line, I have a more comfortable retirement. I don't know.